through. Most importantly, we have an audit program to make sure that we are always surveying for where there may have been a breach of a medical record.
Former Liberal staffer Bruce Lerman has been committed to stand trial on 2 counts of rape in Queensland. The 29-year-old is accused of raping a woman twice in Toowoomba in October 2021. Lerman was excused from attending today's proceedings but was expected to watch via video link. A new COVID variant is set to hit Australian shores in the next few weeks. Known as Flu QE, it's a mutation of the flirt variant and is much more infectious. Professor of Infectious Diseases at Griffith University, Nigel McMillan, says it's the 3rd major variant of the virus so far this year.
From a medical point of view, the sorts of diseases it causes is much the same. And there's the same sort of profile in terms of the problems it may cause people. It's not getting any more severe in terms of the medical outcomes.
Now 5AA Sport.
Shop the latest Pokemon cards and card accessories, all at Sports Card World, Regent Arcade, Rundle Mall.
Thanasi Kokonakis has saved 4 match points to win his first round match at Wimbledon, split over 2 days. The South Aussie admits he didn't lose too much sleep despite being down when the match was suspended due to rain.
I don't know if I went to sleep easier because I was still losing, but I know he was probably thinking he should have put it away, and maybe so. But, keep hanging in there, keep putting that extra ball back. I give myself another chance. I love to compete. I missed Wimbledon last year, so to come and be back on these special grounds, a lot of Aussie fans, so yeah, I love it here.
Veteran cyclist Mark Cavendish has won the 35th Tour de France stage of his career. The 39-year-old was emotional after breaking a record that stood since 1975.
You sprint, you go as hard as you can till you get to the finish line, and maybe your life changes if you cross that line first, maybe it doesn't if you don't. That's the nature of this race, and that's what makes it so beautiful.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
The rumours are true. The new steakhouse stack just dropped at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
Afternoon at Kensington Gardens, a burst water main, McGill Road near Glenburn Road at Birkenhead. Breakdown on Victoria Road near Nelson Street. Also another breakdown on the expressway causing really big delays there. Slow for work to Mount Osman on the freeway near the Mount Osman ramp, and sluggish at Hallett Cove, Lonsdale Road near Majors Road. Cameras this afternoon, Carrara Avenue, Paynham South and Goddard Drive at Salisbury Park. Living with diabetes? Ditch finger pricks and monitor glucose levels on your phone with Freestyle Libre. Trial Freestyle Libre now for $15. T's and C's apply. Follow directions for use. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Partly cloudy today. Tomorrow mostly sunny, 17 the top after getting down to 7 tonight. Saturday sunny and 17, and then a shower or 2 on Sunday, back to 16. Currently it's 15. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, invasion of privacy. SA Health staff suspended, medical records of the Police Commissioner's son accessed inappropriately. A southern suburbs teen arrested for possessing extremist material. AFL gather round in Sydney. Here are Premier's not-so-subtle sledge. And the younger generations turning their backs on booze. 9 News, your news. Nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show.
Get around the little bar!
Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
It's a beauty!
Yeah, hello, it's 6 minutes after 4 on a less frosty day than yesterday. Nice to have the sun out. It's team selection day on this Thursday ahead of round 17, and the Crows and Power have some big decisions to make as I welcome in Rowey and Timmy G.
Yeah, thank you, Sammy. Stole my thunder there. It is round 17, 2 big games again, Crows and Port. You'll hear that every week till season's end, won't you? 2 big games. That's the rod they've made for their backs. A great Wimbledon win by the Cocky. Olympics in 22 days. Before we get Timmy on, guys, this is a text, unique home-style food text. There's a car on fire at the front of the West End Brewery site on Port Road. Please be careful. Corey, thank you. If you're on that road, keep us up to date because that's a bit scary when a car's on fire.
Certainly is.
Timmy, welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Stephen.
What day
Lovely
is it
to be
today?
here. It is Thursday.
And what did you do?
It's golf
Here we
Thursdays,
go.
isn't it?
Let's get an update. We need a little stinger for it.
Yeah, I think we'll get one together.
We'll get one next week.
Yeah, okay.
Something incredible happened today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did the Premier ring you?
No.
You're playing in the Pro-Am?
Well, we battle every week and, normally a score in the 40s might win.
Okay.
There was a 39 today.
Oh!
39.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, it was by a guy that joined us.
Timmy.
Oh, no.
True story. He shot
a
39.
39.
Yeah, I shot a 50 and my mate shot a 53 or something, so we were terrible.
Oh, Matt, I was going to say, did you get a hole in one?
How good would
Did
that
you?
have been, though? 39.
39.
That's my dream. I said to him, that's my dream. If I could break 40, I'd be over the moon. I might even retire if I could
No.
do that.
We're going to get in the Pro-Am next year. It's in February.
So, yeah, beautiful day, though. Compared to yesterday morning, I picked the kids up early because taking them to school.
1 degree.
And it was like 1 degree. Today it was 9.
Oh, it was nice.
9 at the same time.
Oh,
it was like
magnificent.
beautiful. Loved it.
Timmy,
Great day.
well done. Well, I thought there'd be a bigger story than that.
Nah,
so
pathetic.
some random shot of 39.
Well, no, yeah.
Put that in the big book of stiff, you know what? We don't even know his name.
The best part of all
is
this-
he anyone we know?
He's been building this up to us all day.
And Sam, and that was it.
That was it.
But you played music and everything for it, didn't you?
Oh,
yeah.
well, you know what?
Winner. He
You're not-
was a winner. Good on you,
No.
Bosley. Well done, mate.
You're not getting a stinger for that. It's got to be better. Port Bulldogs, Saturday, Arvo, 1:15 live and local on 588. Massive game. You got some ins and outs for us, Timmy? Teams at 10 to 6.
You know teams at 10 to 6 and the like. I had a look through it. I had a look at the lineup last week and I thought, what could I do a little bit differently and the like? Well, not a great deal.
Willie Rioli?
Willie Rioli, if fit and healthy,
He's
which we
in?
think he is.
For who?
He'll come in. I actually went a bit shorter. I think I've been saying this for a few weeks. I think Todd Marshall needs to go back, find some real genuine form and confidence. I don't think he's got either of those. And that work rate I was talking about, chase, tackle, harass. So I've left young Lorenz in, but I've also, I'm going to play him. I'm not going to sub him. So he's going to play.
Okay.
And I think with kids, you can't put them in and take them straight back out.
Like that.
I don't like. I've always thought that minimum is 3, and you say you got 3 weeks, son. Just go for it.
Yeah,
you know?
well
So
said.
hopefully that'll happen, and Rioli comes back into that lineup. But if I quickly run through it, but I made a few changes. I put Narkle on a wing.
Okay.
Put Narkle on a wing. So I want to. He started to find a little bit of the ball. Kicked 1-2 last week. Could have been maybe 2-1. So
Goes
yeah, no,
right,
I think
I
there's
like
a bit
him.
there, and young Logan Evans starts too for me. I think he's going to get better and better. He's got a real class about him.
What about your defenders?
Yeah, well,
Tools or smalls?
Radicalaire's not playing, so he's still not right. That hamstring won't be right for at least 21 days, let alone
So you got Norton,
28.
Darcy, and Ugelhagen.
That's right, yeah. So that's the matchups that they have to try and find, and that's the difficulty. I think you either try you got a Lear and Thatcher, but they might go with it. I was thinking they might go with a Lockie Jones to try and stand one of them. So
He can play tall.
and he can jump. He can leap. So if he,
I
if
actually
he got
like
one-
him on taller players than shorter players.
So which of the 3 would you match him up
I'd
on if
put
you
him
had
on
to?
Ugelhagen,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Just because I think he's got a bit of body strength about him. Ugelhagen's still developing.
Yeah.
He's still a bit thin.
And he can jump.
And he can jump and get over the
Don't
top.
mind
and
it.
Whack.
Here's Dan Houston on 5AA Brekkie about his coach, Ken Inkley.
There was a lot of backlash from his own supporters and our own fans, and I think it was good to show them that he is human, he does care, and he's doing absolutely everything he can to turn our team around. And as players, we're doing our best to support Kenny, but we're also doing our best to play our best.
Well, they're all in it together.
We're getting a real insight into Dan Houston, I think, by being on breakfast.
Oh, I
aren't we?
love him on
and,
Breakfast.
and we know that he's been put into the leadership group this year, and every time I hear him speak, I sort of understand why. So he's developing into a very mature player.
Ken Hinkley yesterday at his presser put a plea out to his fans. Saturday's clash, come along.
Yeah, support the boys. Support the boys is what I always, and they do. They do support the boys, and I think that's really, really important. You know, they're out there doing their absolute best to get wins for us every week, and that's all we expect of them.
They turn up. They love their club.
Oh, look,
They're
it's
just disappointed, some of them.
It's the second 1:15 Saturday game in a row at home. So then, if you had to say, is there one time slot that's
not good?
That's probably the most challenging. I'd say it's Saturday Arvos because of country sport and also your local sport. Everybody's playing. Yeah. And it's a difficult one to manage. So I think if anything, that's probably the biggest challenge there.
Well done. We'll have their team just before 6 o'clock, so please stay with us. Crows haven't beaten the Lions at the Gabba since 2018. Well, now's as good a time as any on a Sunday. I think they match up well against them. For some reason, they always play well against them, although they can't win at the Gabba, but that's okay. I think selection will be very, very, very interesting. Here's Matty Nix on B. Smith.
If those guys have got the same form coming in and we believe they're both going to impact the game the same way at AFL level, well, it's more than likely we're going to play a younger player that's going to, have more of an impact into the future. But if Brodie's form's stronger, we'll bring him in. We play every game to win the game of footy.
Well, B. Smith, I think, was close to, if not best on ground versus Glenelg. He's had 2 games back. He got injured in half of them against the Eagles. That was in the semi. We know that Hamill is out, so I think that's a no-brainer to put him in. Nixie actually went on to be a bit stronger with his statement about B. Smith.
He did some stuff that will be rewarded within, but might not be recognised from outside. He's a big part of our future. He's a big part of where we're at as a footy club as it is, for the service he's given, and there's more to come.
The club needs leaders, especially in that back half. When you think of that back half, I see that. He is a big part of it moving forward.
I was going to ask you, what does he mean by that? It means that he's going to be playing for the next
for
3 years. What's he saying?
Yeah. Well, I don't know whether it's a term like that. He's hit his trigger. He'll be here next year for the club. And if you have a look at their list, they need leaders.
Well, you need experience.
They need experience. They need, and he is all of that.
I like the first comment because I think you always pick your best side.
Yes.
If you want to win, you always pick that best side and put it in, and you go, well, he's on the list, and you want to win, well, you play him.
Yeah, I get that. And look, if there's nothing between Tim Ginniver and Stephen Rowe other than age, one's older and one's younger, well, you would put the Tim Ginniver in. And I get that as well. I think they really want to win, finish the year strongly for a couple of reasons. One might very well be to attract players. Oh, God, they're on the way up. You know what I mean? Like, it is
exactly where they were last year.
Exactly right. And they want to finish with a bit of confidence and then go into a pre-season with the learnings that they've had. Now, they've had injuries. We know all of that. But if I was in the recruiting and I wanted to attract players and you're into player A, B and C, I reckon you've got more chance of getting him over the line if you've got hope that they're going to play finals, don't you? So it's important they finish the season well.
How many wins did you get last year?
Was it 10?
10? 10 wins?
So, it was 11 and 11.
So you're at 5.
No, 10.
You're at 5 wins, is that right? 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah, got the draw. So out of 8, what do you want to finish with?
Well, as many as you can.
Yes. What you've done your homework.
Well, I'd like it to be or end somewhere from here around the 10, 11.
Yeah,
How many was last year?
So 11 last year.
11, I thought it was.
11, 12.
11, 12.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. He was also asked, this is he, being our coach, Matty Nix, on Riley Thilthorpe, Sam for AFL. Have a listen.
Yes, probably at this point, leaning that way, but at the same time, training sessions are really important for us, like watching how guys move, looking at how we've come off the back of last week. There's still a few balls up in the air when it comes to selection, and Riley's one of those.
Now that's Riley Thilthorpe. More than likely he's leaning towards the SAMFL. They had a great team win. Always hard to change a team when it wins. Who's the future? I think it's Riley Thilthorpe. This is nothing against Elliot Himmelberg. Whenever he's in, he does well. But pick one. I'm picking Riley.
Yeah.
Now the proviso for me for that, and we don't know because we're not in the PPT, can he ruck? There's no point playing him if he can't ruck against Brisbane.
Yeah, right.
So are they going to trust him with his knee to ruck? That's the only proviso I'd put on it. And if that is a tick, and he's confident to and wants to, and he's got the spring and all that, he plays. What do you think?
Absolutely.
100.
I think if you're over the line, then you're fully 100% able to do everything.
Now, the other one is Chase Jones or Taylor. What are you doing on the back of what you said about Port Adelaide with kids? Zach Taylor debuted last week as a sub.
I would play Zach Taylor.
Yeah, me
absolutely.
Too. So Chase Jones isn't an automatic in? No, I'm with you. Well said. Have their team just before 6, 8223 0000. What are you doing? So squad tonight and the full team at 4:30 tomorrow. That's going to be a big one from Chase Jones or Zach Taylor. Thanasi Kokonakis, our boy Thanasi. He took down the 17th Wimbledon seed in 5 sets. It was over 2 days. An epic win. Here's the cock.
It was weird. I was pretty flat because I was up 5-love in the tie break, so I shouldn't have gotten to match point down, but that's tennis. I kind of thought I gave it away, and I was like, oh, well, missed opportunity here, but, found a way to get the third set, and then just came with belief. I've come back from 2 sets to love a fair few times now before, so my tennis felt good, and that's what it came down to, trying to execute the game plan and staying positive.
4 match points down he was. He was against the Canadian. They're calling him a wonder boy or the wonder kid. See if I get this right, Timmy. Felix Auger-Aliassime.
Correct.
No.
Oh,
There you
sorry.
go, Sam.
Sorry.
There you go, Sam.
Oh, you're talking about somebody else, are you? Sorry, I know that other guy. He played golf with us this morning.
That's
yeah, and he
shocking
shot a
from you.
39. Say his name.
Felix Auger-Aliassime.
Aliassime. Felix
Sorry.
Auger-Aliassime.
Tennis players are tough.
Well, why can't they get real names?
Yeah.
Why are tennis names that awkward? You
John
say it.
Smith.
Old George Danikian here.
Oh, but you know what, Thanasi? That is an epic win.
It's a great win.
That is an epic win.
Yeah, well done.
He now plays Frenchman Lucas Poulet tomorrow. Did I get that one right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sam, you didn't rehearse that one,
I
did
haven't
you?
actually looked at his new opponent.
You George Janika's head.
I'll get it after the break for you.
Is he still around, George? Did I
George,
get his
yeah.
name right?
Yeah, George Danikian.
Danikian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of a
Great
legend.
news reader.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he
One
was
of the best.
good. Did he ever get a word wrong?
I doubt it, because we wouldn't have known if it was or not.
So, yeah, I'm more like him than I'm not, aren't I? Yeah,
Just say it with confidence.
Paul Roos, excuse me, is a thinker of the game. I call him a thinker in residence. He's a bit like not a godfather, but a grandfather. People gravitate to his word because he's been there and he's done that. He's played and coached. He made this statement today on an interstate radio. Have a listen.
There was certainly a lot more depth, and there's a lot more depth in AFL. Like, we only had 12 teams, and like our seconds teams, I say this, Carlton's seconds team in the early 80s would beat North Melbourne right now. There's no question about that.
Well, Roosie, it wasn't the AFL, it was the VFL. So,
Yes, correct.
But he is right. I think we are painting the talent a bit thin. I think the high-end talent today, as good as it's ever been. But the last 5, it does drop off. What is there, 18 teams? It's spread a bit thin.
Yeah. Well,
but I went through Carlton's reserve team. In the 79, they won it in 79, 81 and 82.
Yeah. Nah, wouldn't. Nah, you've had a look at the names?
I had a look at the names. And half of them I didn't know.
No, okay.
Vinny Cottogio, Georgie Akamanis.
And look,
there was a lot of...
it's easy to talk in a big hindsight like that, 40 years, because you go, well, I can't remember the twos or whatever, but it was just a different style of game, completely, really. I actually think the game that you and I played isn't anything like the game that these guys play.
So he's a bit nostalgic, I guess. We all have short memories and we're a bit clouded with all of that. But we thought we'd open up the lines. Is Paul Roos right? Footy was far better in the 70s, let's say in the 80s. I think they were the golden eras. And they had better, deeper talent pool. Have you say 8223 0000. Got a $50 Powers voucher. Got a couple of unique home style food texts.
Yes.
If you're anywhere near the brewery, please let us know if that car's been put out and if there's I don't know, a bottleneck or a bit of traffic. Rowey, you loved Alir's nickname Shander, as in chandelier.
Oh, yes.
Joya Miss is the Dockers star forward. His nickname is Nev.
Never miss. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
There we go.
Yeah,
that's from Joyce.
We need a boom tish. You want that one?
Well, that was from Joyce. Joyce, I didn't. He
Joyce.
is a very, 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 very good kicker of the ball.
Yes. Yeah. Well, he is now.
Yeah.
Joyce misses.
Joyce doesn't wear a hat with a bell on it, does she?
No, she does not. No, she does not.
So, best footy nicknames, if you want to.
Hey, there's a bit fun.
Beat that one, Nev. Never miss.
Never miss. Not bad.
Funny. Thank you, Joyce.
8223 0000. A bit of fun for a $50 Powers voucher this afternoon. We have Caroline Wilson joining us later today. She's had some big comments once again this week. Scotty Burns from the Crows. Brenan Lade from the Western Bulldogs. Tommy Orr's going to talk Euros with us. That's going off and getting to the pointy end. And more Port Adelaide locker room tickets to give away to Saturday's game. It's 21 after 4.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. David and Will invite you into the studio every morning with 5AA's live video stream of The Breakfast Show. Thanks to Foodland. With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
The sun's heat can reach up to 27 million degrees. It's exactly the kind of warmth we were going for with the Aldi children's down jacket, keeping little ones sufficiently snug through winter for only $34.99. Snug. Ultralight and insulated. It's special you can buy at the Aldi Outdoor Adventure Sale this Saturday. Aldi. Good different.
What makes Ray White the big name in business broking? They're people, like multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year, Brett Buckley, and his team of business professionals. They take a deep dive into your business, finding value and potential, and they know what they're looking for because they know businesses. They're not real estate salespeople trying to sell businesses, they're business people selling businesses. If you want to know what your business is worth, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA, multiple Business Broker of the Year awards.
Well, nobody knows paint like the Crowies team. And I should know because I used to be one. And here's the thing. Well, a painter, a master at it, mind you. You're going to love the local Crowies store. They have all the answers. Doesn't matter what you're painting or staining, they can help. They ask all the questions. They provide all the best solutions. Whether you're painting a chair, a door, a wall, or a house, whether it's metal, tile, steel, timber, render, wallpaper, they got the lot. You'll love their prices too. Their quality is exceptional. Got all the big brands, price, quality, service. You cannot go past Crowies. And they only sell, as I said, premium quality paint. Want to do it right the first time? Visit crowiespaints.com.au for a store near you. Are you eagerly awaiting a relocation sale to stock up on four-wheel drive and camping gear? Great news! TJM Clovelly Park have just opened their doors at their new address, 115 Sheriffs Road, Ranella. They're still clearing out heaps of ex-display stock and everything must go. Get in quick and give the crew at TJM Nailsworth a call to find out what's up for grabs at both locations during their relocation sale on now.
Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. Do you love animals? Don't miss Animal Expo, Adelaide Showground, this Saturday and Sunday. For details, go to kjex.com.au.
Some things need an emergency department, but if you're umming and ahhing on what to do, it might be more of an emergency. If you're unwell and unsure what to do, call Health Direct on 1800 022 222 and a registered nurse will help you find the best care for you. A message from the Government of South Australia.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
24 after 4 on this Thursday. Was footy better to watch 30 to 40 years ago, and why? 8223 0000. Interested in your thoughts on this one today. $50 Powers voucher to give away. We'll chat to Scotty Burns from the Crows very shortly, but right now let's check your traffic for Rossdale Homes, the custom home 2-story and split-level specialists.
Afternoon, look out for a crash at Goodwood at the moment. Goodwood Road near the Capri Theatre. Whereas Watermaid at Kensington Gardens, McGill Road near Glenburn Road. Car fire at Theberton at the moment, Port Road in Park Terrace, and a breakdown getting cleared up, so residual delays passing at Birkenhead Victoria Road near Nelson Street. Cameras at Clayson Road, Salisbury East, and Kelly Road at Valley View. Dash into BWS for 4 days of deals. Grab a case of Heineken Lager bottles for $52. Save $5. Hurry ends Sunday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
All right, let's go to Park Home. G'day, Tony.
Yeah, hi there, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Pleasure.
Apparently, Roosie's made some comment today that years ago it was a better game.
Correct.
The reason I think for that is there were less number of teams.
Yes.
Where are Tasmania going to get their players from? The other clubs, or are they going to get 40 people that aren't currently in the AFL?
Well, they'll get them from all around the country,
And
Tony.
we're dipping into the same pool, though, Tony.
That's
You're right.
Yeah, and that's what I suggest is the competition is not going to get stronger by adding teams because there's only so many players that are up to good AFL standard.
Yep.
By increasing the number of teams, overall you're diluting the ability
Correct.
across the board.
Yep.
So that's why someone said that Carlton's second side could possibly beat North Melbourne going back years ago.
Yeah.
And that's where I have a problem. I think once we get to 20 teams, we almost need to go to 2 conferences, and no clubs want to be in Div 2.
No, and also we're still dipping into the same pool, Tony, regardless, aren't we?
I'm leaning toward that. 100 miles an hour.
Which one?
Oh, 2 conferences.
Yeah, but you're saying a Div 2, though.
Yeah.
See, conferences are different. Like in the United States, they play their
Yeah,
own.
and they're equal.
And then they come
And
in,
they
they're
don't
equal.
drop in. Yeah.
You got it. So it's
I like the Premier
EPL
League.
that has their divisions. And
You
that's,
go up, you go down.
they've got a few more people over there than we have.
Do. Hello, Deb at Ascot Park.
Hello, how you going, Rowey? Just been to Rusden.
Oh, good on
lovely.
you,
How'd you
Deb.
go, Deb? And gee, you're speaking well.
My husband's birthday, 4th of July, and we're going to see Jimmy Barnes tonight.
Oh, how
So we've had to come up to Rusden.
beautiful. They look after you?
They were great.
Oh,
they're a
and you've
great
got to
family
try
too.
David Franz as well.
Okay, we will
There
do
you
so,
go.
Deb. Thank
Well
you for
played.
that. Where is he playing tonight? Up there, is he?
He must be. Normally they have those sort of day on the green type.
Oh, they do too.
Concerts,
In
but,
Tanunda.
Well done,
in
Deb.
Tanunda, there you go. So not far away. Hey, talking about the change of the game, whether it was better and the like. This is the couple of significant moments where I felt the game was changing, and it was in the 90s. Robert Walls was coaching Brisbane, and he introduced zoning on kickouts. Now, you would have been playing, and I'll never forget the first time it happened.
We were always 1-on-1.
Well, actually, it was Nord who did it to us, and I think
Okay.
it's because you had it, not Craigie, after Craigie, was it Peter Road?
Peter Road.
Peter Road took over, and he must have picked it up, and he came over, and Norwood zoned against us. And Roger Delaney said to me, it's really hard to get out of that zone. I said, what zone? He said, they're actually zoning. And, of course, then we watched it back and we're going, what are they doing? And they all stood in positions rather than go one-on-one, which was the normal go, or you huddle up and spread out. And so there was a change. It was like, wow, how are you going to do this? And so we had to do drills on it and the like and try and get out and the like. And then the next bit I reckon I saw was Rodney Eade brought flooding in. And everybody flooded back into the back 50, and it was the most ugly football you've probably ever seen. And then they tried to break away from there once they got hold of possession, and then the game started to change from that
Terry
moment.
Wallace did it. It was led by the coaches.
Correct.
It's a really
led
good
by
pick.
the coaches.
And someone's Webb. Who was that Webb?
Oh, the
Clarko's
West Coast,
Webb.
A bit later on.
West Coast, the Wiggles Webb, I think. it was.
Wiggles Webb. But what did Clarko do? He did a couple of things as well.
He had one, I reckon.
But it was driven by coaches.
Correct. And it came from a lot of US influence.
There you go.
There you go. So that's when
Good
it
pick
started
up.
to change, late 90s.
More of your calls on this, 8223 0000. Got the 4:30 headlines and Scotty Burns from the Crows next.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. David Penberthy and Will Goodies. 5AA Breakfast.
This is mangy old bunch of old Wollonga hippies taking time out from making their own sauerkraut to get in the second-hand Volvo and come into town every Monday for a bit of socialising and save the planet. And if you say to them, you are preventing a reputable business that has nothing to do with climate change,
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
their response would be, well, if you think this is inconvenient, wait until the planet burns.
Yeah, that's right.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
David Bruce with the latest news headlines. SA Health is investigating 18 staff for inappropriately accessing the medical records of Charlie Stevens, the deceased son of our police commissioner. Fatima Payman will sit in federal parliament as an independent after quitting Labor over its position on the war in Gaza. Joe Biden has vowed to stay on with the blessing of Democrat governors who've met with him in Washington, D.C. And Richmond coach Adam Uze has dismissed talk of Dustin Martin leaving the club after the season to join Gold Coast as pure speculation. Now checking 5AA traffic.
The rumours are true. The new steakhouse stack just dropped at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
G'day there, at Goodwood, a crash to look out for. Goodwood Road near the Capri Theatre. Got a car fire at Theberton, Port Road near Park Terrace. Still clearing up a breakdown at Birkenhead. Got a few residual delays there. Victoria Road near Nelson Street. And a burst water main at Kensington Gardens, McGill Road near Glenburn Road. Cameras, Kelly Road, Valley View and Reed Avenue at Hectorville. Can you keep a secret? The IKEA sale is now on, up to 80% off hundreds of products until July 22. Head to ikea.com.au before everyone finds out. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, mostly sunny tomorrow, 17 the top, after an overnight low of 7. Currently, it's 15. More news at 5, and as it happens, on 5AA.
Get the garden you want at Garden Grove. Wander through Garden Grove's beautiful nursery, blooming with thousands and thousands of plants, greenery, and all the colours of the rainbow. There are plants for inside and plants for out. For the garden you want, see Garden Grove. Golden Grove Road, Golden Grove.
Garden Grove, that's the garden. Garden Grove, that's the garden. Garden Grove, the garden that I want.
Phone 8251 1111 for delivery to all areas.
Feel the chill in the air? Not at CMAX. While it's cold outside, you can bask in warmth and opportunity at CMAX. Picture this, you're snuggled up indoors, cosy and earning money by participating in our clinical trials. Be part of medical advancement while you stay comfy. With lots of trials to choose from, there's something for everyone. Visit cmax.com.au now and register your interest today. That's cmax.com.au. Stay cosy. Stay with CMAX.
Oh, God, I love our listeners. Clarkson's Cluster. Pagan's Paddock.
Pagan's Paddock, yeah.
Craigie's Crowbots.
That's a bit harsh.
Well, that's a really good point. The coaches started to drive the agenda. Here we go. Are you looking for top-notch industrial commercial roller doors, shutters, automatic pedestrian doors or automatic gates? Well, Vulcan doors are supreme at keeping out what you want out and in what you want in, like an old mutt, like an old dog.
Yeah, correct. I mean, I love the Vulcan doors, don't worry about that. And if I was to maybe put some on this studio, I could lure you out perhaps with a little tuna lure. A little tuna lure lead you out the door.
But then you push the button, the Vulcan door shuts and out. Bang.
And you can't get back
I'd hit my nose against it. Well done. Regardless of, well, all those things, Vulcan doors are the industrial and commercial roller door specialists. They should be your first call. Where I don't know, you get friendly service, you get quality outcomes,
you'll get
a great price, you get all of that. Just do this, vulcandoors.com.au, or do it again, VULCAN, vulcandoors.com.au.
Drums, please. Unprecedented, unparalleled, unrivaled. For the very first time, Edwardstown Mazda is offering discounts greater than 10% on all Mazda demonstrator models. Every demo, every model with a minimum discount of 10%. Plus a minimum trade-in of $2,000 on your old vehicle. This offer is exclusive to Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA.
The Australian Ballet presents George Balanchine's Jewels, bringing to life the majesty of emeralds, rubies and diamonds, each with its own style, colour and music. Jewels on stage at Adelaide Festival Centre from July 12 to 18. Book now.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
It's 25 to 5. Caroline Wilson's going to join us live after 5 o'clock. We're taking more of your calls as well. 8223 0000. Was footy better 30 years ago, or is it better to watch now? And we have 5AA locker room tickets very, very soon.
Woodon Crows take on the Lions at the Gabba Sunday. Joining us is Senior Assistant Forward Coach Scotty Burns. Burnsy, welcome.
G'day, Rory. How you going?
Ricky would have had a better week this week after that great win over GWS. I billed it probably our best four-quarter effort for the year.
Yeah, it was solid. It was really nice to finish off our work a little bit, wouldn't it? To give us a bit more of a buffer towards the end of the game. But yeah, it was quite pleasing. We've certainly been building in some ways. That for nearly three quarters, by that last 6 or 7 minutes for Sydney in that third, we were certainly quite strong, but certainly couldn't finish that off. But yeah, it was we come up against a pretty good team in Giants, and it was a good battle for the boys inside, and I thought they held up really well there.
They did. 11 more scoring shots speaks volumes. Do you feel the group's freshened up after the bye, physically and mentally?
Well, I would have thought. I mean, especially when you look at the SNFL, if we look at our squad, and we certainly have similar training regimes over that break. We had 14 weeks in a row from an AFL perspective. You get that little bit of a freshen up, and the SNFL team were outstanding on the weekend as well. They were certainly on their toes. So it's obviously a tough game, and I think this year more than any year, I think they've kept the Thursday night games going for 14 or 15 rounds for quite a while, and there's quite a lot of short turnarounds, which makes it harder to manage. And the game's getting quicker, it's getting faster, and it's certainly hard to play. So if you can if you had a bye every 7 weeks or so, you'd probably have an advantage over some teams that may have had a 14-run stretch.
Well, that's true. I think Sydney had 2 before you had your first, so I get that. Lions pose a different set of concerns. What are they for you?
It's probably similar to the last 2 teams we've played, really, in the sense that they've obviously got a very, very strong midfield. They've got those dangerous forwards. They're probably a little bit taller than most forward lines. You've got Danaher, 200 plus, and
Hipwood.
Obviously, yeah, Hipwood as well, 200 plus. So they've got certainly a bit of height up there. And they've got the best intercept marker in the game in Harris Andrews down the other end, who's 202 as well. And so they're sort of, obviously they're one kick from being the premiership team from last year, and they've certainly found their mojo after being a bit slow out of the box in the first month or so. I think if you look statistically at what they've done over the last 10 to 12 games, they're just about number one in nearly 80% of the stats that you do look at.
Let's go to selection. Riley Thilthorpe, SANFL or AFL?
More likely SANFL at this stage, mate. Yeah, he's 2 weeks before we started. We're coming into round 17, so it's nearly been a 16, 18-week break. And even though he's been training, he did quite well last week. He's certainly a step ahead of where he was in previous years. But we're thinking at this stage he probably needs another run under his belt. He's had a long time out, and there's certainly at this stage, when you look at Nick Murray and you look at Riley Thilthorpe in terms of the injuries they've had over the last 12 months, I think the best thing for us and for them is to make sure they get 6 to 10 quality games in rather than getting them in early when they might not quite be right.
Yeah. Will you ruck him this week in the SANFL then? Can he ruck? Has he got confidence in that knee?
Yeah, no, he's confident. Yeah, it's a really good question, Rowey, because we probably will. Certainly looking forward. If he comes in, he probably needs a second ruck at times. But yeah, it's one of those things now too. We're not quite as worried with the new rule changes through the centre bounce where they're not running into each other. They can sort of cross the line and it becomes a little bit more of a wrestle. So it's not quite as daunting as maybe it once was.
Hey, Burnsy, I was just wondering, back in the old days, we used to send a forward scout out to go and have a look at the opposition and see what they were doing and how they were doing it and the like. Is it with the technology these days, and for myself and the listeners, do you guys just do that all in-house because you can get so many angles, varied footage of the opposition? You don't need to have anybody on the deck?
Yeah, we've got the 4 angles of vision. We have the broadcast vision. You've got a wider vision that comes out a little bit further, and then you've got both ends behind the goal. So there's certainly a lot of things you can see. The hard thing for us, though, is that you still want to, because we're obviously interstate, we don't get to Melbourne too much, and that's when you get to Melbourne, you can actually watch other games. Obviously, if you go to Sydney or Brisbane or Perth, it's only the one game that weekend, so you don't get to watch any other teams.
Yep.
So we really look forward to those Melbourne games as coaches, where you can scout teams that you might not be playing, but just see what trends or confirm some trends that might be taking place. But the teams we're coming up against, generally we've got a lot of the vision from behind the goals. We know generally what most teams are doing. We've watched them to an extent because they may have played teams. So this week, for instance, we've got Brisbane, we've got St Kilda the week afterwards. So we're concentrating pretty heavily on the Brisbane-St Kilda game a few weeks ago and having a close look at that.
Excellent. Good insight there. Beautiful. Thank you for that. What was the most pleasing aspect that you took out of that GWS win?
I think the turnaround probably in the middle Sydney just got really on top of us in that centre bounce and around the ground, and for our boys to maintain that pressure on what we consider a really quality midfield in the Giants. And in the past, they've had the wood over us. So for Rob to come back in to play like he did and our midfield to really take it up to them and really smother them to an extent and not allow them to get overlap hands and run and carry, which they have really hurt us in the past when they've ripped through the corridor. So we closed the space down. We didn't allow that, and I thought our contest was very strong in there, and it gave the forwards a look forward to the football.
You got that ground ball back. Well done, the scramble. B. Smith in for Hamill. Is that the likely only change?
More than likely at this stage, Rowey. Yeah, Smith he's been fantastic. Look, it's pretty tough when you've been around the game for a while, like he has, in 250 plus games. It's you got to swallow your pride and go back and play SNFL to an extent. But in terms of him completely embracing the SNFL team, and you talk to the 2 or 3 youngsters that he works with in the backline at the SNFL level, when you speak to them post-game or during the week, how much he's gone back to help them out, it's been outstanding. And certainly, it's a great character reference for him and gives us a lot of confidence as coaches that his headspace is in the right space at the moment. He's here all for the team, and he deserves the opportunity to come back in. And mind you, it's not as clear-cut as that because Bondi's been playing some terrific football underneath as well. So he's getting closer. So it's nice to have a few of those younger players really starting to step up and put some consistent football together.
Okay, and Chase Jones, is he back okay? Is he up for selection?
Yeah, he got through today. At this stage, it's okay, so he should be up for selection.
Okay.
I'm just always wary, like with Tex in the past, with any of these back injuries, that we need to wait and see sometimes, the next day, just to make sure they're cherry ripe to play.
Okay. Zach Taylor keeps his spot?
Yeah, he'll play, yeah.
Good.
He's obviously got a fair bit of ability, Zachy, hasn't he? If you go back 18 months ago, some of those finals games he played at SNFL were quite strong. To the extent, I think he started, I think Nord might have even tagged him in the prelim. But he's always had a few niggles, unfortunately, which has held him back, and he's had a little bit of consistency this year. He's certainly very clever with ball in hand. He's not exceptionally big, but what he does have a very good sidestep, and he's very clean at ground level. And usually those players, when they go up to the next level at AFL, they hold up quite well.
You mentioned Harris Andrews, and we see him every week. He's very good at the intercept mark and the like, and reads the play beautifully. When you talk to coaches and ask them, what do you do about that? And they say things like change lanes and the like. Is that easy? Because, you're coming down one way and then there he is there. Is it that easy to just go, okay, well, let's get the ball over the other side and try and keep it away from him? It's not that simple, I wouldn't have thought.
No, and that's why Brisbane have been so good over the last 10 weeks, because they haven't allowed teams to bring the ball back through the corridor out to the open side. So you end up going long down the line, and not only Andrews, but Payne cleaned us up last time here at Adelaide Oval as well. So we presume he'll be back here this week for Joyce. Look, those good players. They're just hard to stop. If you can get flow on the ball, like any good defender, if you get any flow on the ball or any good movement with speed towards your goals, you can expose them. It's just so hard to get because they're higher forwards in the mids, and especially the high defenders. Wilmot and Starswich are terrific. And Zorko's been up there as well, where they smother anyone coming out of a stoppage or from a half back there right in your face. So it's hard to get that shoulders out look and have a bit of time and space with that kicker to change those angles.
I've often thought, Scotty, about if I was running down, I saw him and then there was one of our guys, I've often thought I would just kick it deliberately into space along the ground.
Well, it's not a silly thing to do at all. Yeah, if we can, we'd love to get it over the back to space because obviously it can run on, and whenever a defender's running back towards goals, it's not the most favoured position they want to be in. But look, there's a bit of credit to that. But at the same time, we certainly want to back our boys in at the start, whether that's Fogarty or Himmelberg or Tex. Fogg's in really good form at the moment. We're expecting him to hopefully maintain this over the remainder of the year. And I thought Tex moved very well last week. That's probably the sharpest I've seen him move for a long time. So, we think we can match. We can be aggressive. You can still kick it to them, but those forwards better be aggressive and throw elbows everywhere to make sure at least that ball gets to ground and opposition can't mark it.
Beautiful. Couple of general footy ones, Burnsy. I love your footy brain. 3 umpires or 4?
3.
Done. And footy.
Can we go 1?
Yeah.
Just one. Just make it simple.
Ooh, Rafferty rules. Love it.
Don't mind that. Imagine that.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. Not nowadays.
Well, then why say it, Burnsy?
Well, because just simply because of the different interpretations you can get with different individuals. Yes. Us 3 can umpire a game, and we've all got a different interpretation. You had another one.
That's it. So make it as less we can. And just one last one. Paul Roos made a comment about the 80s where, the quality of footy's dropped due to us spreading out the talent. Was footy better in the 80s?
I think it's always got its plus and minuses. I'll tell you, there's one game that I watched, I've seen a few times on Fox Footy. It was a West Coast game over there. It was either Carlton or North Melbourne in 94. And I thought that was just 1v1, hard at it. Yes. There was still blokes could run it yet. Matera running and bouncing the ball 3 or 4 times. You had Chakovic on Carey. So maybe it was North Melbourne. But it was just a terrifically hard 1v1 game, but still space for players to use their flair. The reality is, mate, though, we've become so much fitter and stronger. We cover ground so much better. Yep. And there's been a lot more emphasis on defence probably than there has been in the previous, the first 80 years of the game. And
everyone can tackle. I didn't lay a tackle in my career, Burnsy. I mean, everyone can tackle now.
Yeah, I was a teammate. I knew that, actually, Rowey. I knew that stat was you. I don't know how they did the stats 30 years ago, but some of those games, there's like 30 tackles in the game compared to whatever there is now, 80 odd. So, but I often think when I saw that COVID year that we had and the SNFL or the VFL, they played 16v16, that 16v16 actually looks similar to that 94 game in a lot of ways because, it was more 1v1 and there was still space to use your flair.
I'm going to use a Lee Matthews line. I didn't have to tackle Burnsy because I had the ball in my hand.
That's right.
They said to Lee Matthews, why didn't you ever tackle? He said, why would I? I'm kicking goals, I got the ball.
Yeah. Well, he kicked 900 goals for a midfielder. Not a bad effort.
Well, I was only 900 behind him. Burnsy, all the best on Sunday. I think 4 quarters of our best is all we want to see, and let's hope we get that. Good luck and thanks for your time.
No worries. Thanks, lads.
Thanks, Scotty.
Well done, Scotty Burns, our guest. Massive game. Cannot wait for Sunday. I've got to... He's right. We just match up well against Brisbane. I just want to see our best for 4 quarters.
Yeah. Did you like my theory about not kicking it in the air? Just kick it along the ground.
Don't mind it. I think teams have done that, haven't they?
Because Harris Andrews, if he's got a fault, it's below his knees.
Yeah, okay.
And anything in the air, he loves it. And I thought, you get it in there and you just put it on the ground. And mate, he'd be going, I don't want to bend over and pick this up.
Who will he go to?
Out of your lot?
Well, it's either Walker, Fogg, or...
Who doesn't move the most?
Probably Thilthorpe.
There we go.
Oh, not Thilthorpe.
No, he's not playing.
No, Himmelberg.
Oh, yeah, he'll go to the one that doesn't move the most.
I don't even... He doesn't play on anyone.
No, but...
God, he's a good player.
If somebody pushes right up, he doesn't want to go there.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Nah, well done. Scotty Burns, our guest.
Some unique homestyle food text saying Riley Thilthorpe in the sample again. Big error, Adelaide. There's a few of them along those lines. We'll get your calls and texts on straight after the break. 8223 0000. But right now, let's give away some tickets to the footy.
'Cause I'm Timmy G.
Get in the 5AA locker room this Saturday afternoon by calling in now and playing Timmy G's quiz. 8223 0055's the number. Port Adelaide and the Dogs. It is going to be a huge game. We'll do that after the traffic.
Got a big car fight look out for at the moment at Theberton, Port Road near Park Terrace, crash at Goodwood Road near the Capri Theatre, also causing big delays. And a burst water main slowing up proceedings this hour at Kensington Gardens, McGill Road near Glenburn Road. Busy right now at Modbury North, McIntyre Road near Milne Road, with cameras Ladywood Road, Modbury Heights, and Carrara Avenue at Payneham South. Dash into BWS for 4 days of deals. Grab a case of Asahi Super Dry Lager bottles for $54. Save 8. Hurry ends Sunday. T's and C's apply. Choose to drink wise. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, the Lynn Andrews team have made it easy for landlords to manage residential and commercial property. From single homes to multiple commercial holdings, our passion for property investment means we have a great deal of knowledge. How to do it safely and properly, matching the right tenant with the right property every time. We're here to help you. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
Hey, you in the car. If your next service is due, just remember that Mawson Lakes Mazda has your back. We'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash, and your breakfast or lunch is on us. Your car gets the love too, with our state-of-the-art service centre brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, we'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Now, I'm going to talk about a South Australian institution here, and I know you know this, but we were supposed to catch up with him tomorrow night.
It's Barbecue England, Earl.
Yeah, been cancelled. I'll have to tell you, but
Chris,
we will catch up with the
Christian's
great man.
got a sore throat.
Yes, I'm talking BL Shipway, of course. They've been looking after SA's hydraulic and pneumatic needs for over 70 years, and BL Shipway are the best team in the business. Now, they work with the best suppliers as well, so they've got Ryco, Rexroth, Enerpac, Hydac, Allpath, Easy Fit, and many more. Now, they've got plenty of stock at the new location. You've heard Cornsey bang on about this Monday night. 71 Morfett Road, and the team of experts can't wait to help you. So you can either go in store, and if that's not you go and you have to ring up, well, they'll get on the phone and they'll have a great chat to you. Now, BL Shipway's state-of-the-art workshop will also take care of your equipment, servicing, repairs, and if they can't, they'll send out a Ryco 24/7 mobile hose repair van to your door. Don't worry about that. They are brilliant, support a great SA company, and when you need anything to do with hydraulics, BL Shipway is the place to go. Where are they? 71 Morfett Road, Camden Park, or just check them out at blshipway.com.au.
Here's some great news from Darren and Chris at ACET Transport Solutions. They've just added crane trucks on their fleet. These rigid trucks have their own crane for safe loading and unloading, perfect for the big stuff. With over 20 years of experience and over 200 vehicles in their fleet, there's plenty of rigid crane trucks on deck ready for your next delivery. Whatever the load, ACET Transport Solutions will handle your delivery safely. Don't just send it, ACET. Don't just send it, ACET.
Drummond Golf is turning 50 and we're giving you the chance to win a new VW Golf 110 TSI Life. Get into Drummond Golf and for every $100 spent on selected big brand golf gear, you get an entry into the draw. There's over $80,000 in prizes to be won, including drivers and hundreds of Drummond Golf gift vouchers. And Drummond Club members get 2 entries for every $100 spend. Don't miss the Drummond Golf 50th anniversary and your chance to win a new VW Golf. Conditions apply. See in store or online for details.
I now pronounce us starving. Let's go.
Caught the bouquet but missed the meal? Share the love and shout the whole table KFC's 20 for 20. 10 mouth-watering original tenders and 10 nuggets for just $20. It's a great shout.
Not everywhere and not forever. Pick up only.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
8 minutes to 5. Caroline Wilson to join us after the 5 o'clock news, and we love your calls. We're going to get back to them very shortly, but right now we're sending you to the footy.
'Cause I'm Timmy G. Well, it's Port Bulldogs. It's Saturday afternoon. It's a 5-hour drink package. It's the 5AA locker room. The seats are elite. You'll have the best time because you can see the boys come in, go out, half-time and everything. Amy, here's Timmy.
Okay, hello. Amy, I'm going to read this question and I'll give you a hint. And then after you, if you don't get it right, it'll be higher or lower. The question is, Amy, what is Port Adelaide's record for the most consecutive games won at home? It's between 5 and 20, Amy.
All right. How many?
13.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Let's go to Steve. Steve, it is higher than 13.
Higher than 13.
Lower than 20.
Okay, I'll try 17.
Thank you, Steve. Let's go to Russell at Cheltenham. Russell, it is between 13 and 17.
I'll go 16.
Thank you. Brett.
Sorry, Russ.
Brett, it is now between 13 and 16.
Yes, I would say 15.
Thank you, Brett.
Lauren.
Lauren, it is between 13 and 15. Can you guess it?
It'd be 14?
Yes!
Oh, my God!
Congratulations, Lauren. You are off to see Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs. You get in that 5AA locker room. You'll never forget it. It's a great experience. Who can you take?
Oh, my hubby.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that would be lovely. Thank you so much.
Well done,
You'll have a
Riley.
lovely
Sound so
day,
happy.
Lauren. Enjoy, my friend.
Yeah, well done. A lot of people saying, Riley Thilthorpe, he could hurt himself in the sample as much as the AFL. Have you say about that? He will definitely play in the sample. Before we go to Kay, I looked at the 2018 draft. It was described as the super draft.
Oh, yeah.
So pick 1 was Walsh, pick 2 was Lukosius, pick 3 Rankin. You had the King, that's Max King, into Connor Rosie at 5. Ben King, Bailey Smith, didn't do his knee, top 2 players in the comp. Taron Thomas, forget him, he's gone. Chase Jones for the Crows and Nick Blakey. So I thought I'd redraft it.
Okay.
How would I redraft
how
that now?
you would rate that
This
draft.
is me, how
Okay.
I would do it. Now, that was how it landed. Now, hindsight's a great thing.
Yeah.
What are we, how many seasons since then?
Jeez.
6. Wow. I've got Butters number 1. He was 12.
Yep.
I've got Rankin number 2. He was 3. I've got Rankin number 3. He was 5. Blakey was 10. I've got him 4. Walsh slips down to 5. Bobby Hill, I've got. He's won a Norm Smith medal. He's an exciting play. Best still to come. He was 24. I've got Ben King, the son's Ben King.
Yep.
At 7. I've got the other King, 50. Bailey Smith, then Isaac Quainer. Crows took that particular year. Chase Jones at 9. Ned McHenry at 16. You've got to get him right, don't you?
What's part of the game?
Where have you put Butters? Where do you put him 1?
Kay, I reckon he's up there, probably equal with Rankin. Let's go to Kay. G'day, Kay.
Well done.
Thank you. Oh,
Okay.
if I'm last, you too, ratbags.
Anyway, talk about football years ago.
Yes.
We had no women.
Hey? Oh,
we
you
had
mean
decent
playing?
umpires.
Yeah, right.
Sorry?
You mean playing?
Keep going, Kay. I'm hearing you. Keep going.
No, bloody women. That's just bullshit. Sorry, that's my French, but anyway.
No, Kay, I hear you.
We had, I don't know if you guys, how long you knew Max Durbridge.
No, I didn't.
Guy. He was a friend of ours.
Okay.
Well, obviously KG.
Yep.
Yes.
And who's the other? Oh, Laurie Argent.
Laurie.
Oh, you're talking umpires, Kay.
Yeah, I am talking umpires.
Gotcha. Yeah.
These bloody little Vegemite jars that run around these days, they're bloody hopeless.
Vegemite.
And if you look, next time you go to the football, you just look at these bloody, they look like Vegemite jars. And I'm over it. But anyway, what was I going to say? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Who were your guys, when you were playing, who were your favourite umpires?
Didn't have one, Kay.
Oh, yeah, off field, I like
Abbott,
a few.
Mickey Abbott.
Yeah, Mick Abbott.
Yeah.
Rick Kinnear.
Rick Kinnear was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
No, we had great
Jimmy
umpires, to be
Field,
honest.
champion bloke.
They would
Yeah.
tell you to go and get
Yeah. Neville
the ball.
Thorpe would smile at you.
Would too.
Yeah, old
Rowey,
Thorpe.
you can go and get the ball.
Right.
Kay, I'm going to give you a $50 Powers voucher. That is outstanding.
Right on, Kay.
And Kay, for you, in the call this week, I'm going to work into my vocab. You Vegemite heads.
I think that's my new favourite sledge, you Vegemite jar.
You absolute Vegemite jar, green tree frog piece of.
Yep,
Let's
it's
go
2 minutes to
break.
5, Caro next.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Do you want to keep doing what you love for the next 10, 15, 20 years? The Physio Co. is a mobile physiotherapy company dedicated to keeping people active throughout retirement and beyond. Their caring, qualified physios will sort everything out and visit you wherever you call home, ensuring safety, convenience and simplicity. Stay active, safe and happy and book the Physio Co. today. Just head to thephysioco.com.au. Nice shot!
Now at Harvey Norman, bonus local delivery on selected mattresses. That's right, receive bonus local delivery on selected mattress purchases over $999. Now's the time to update, upgrade or upsize your mattress with big deals on big brands Sealy, Sleepmaker, King Coil by AH Beard and Tempur, plus bonus local delivery. Experience the latest in sleep technology. Choose your feel. Find the perfect mattress for you. Hurry, bonus local delivery on selected mattress purchases is for a limited time only at Harvey Norman now. Best range, best brands, best prices guaranteed. Available in-store only. Conditions apply.
Now, let's face it, it's been a pretty cool week this week, and it's hardly board shorts or mojitos weather. So think about this. Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens, they're taking orders right now for summer, because this is the time to do it. They start to book out, but there's still time to lock in a consultation about your outdoor entertaining needs. You've got to get ready now. It's all about preparation. From a custom concrete bench to a full outdoor kitchen with appliances, they can do a lot. Now, if you act now, you'll have your own Adelaide Outdoor Kitchen ready before the mojitos are back on the menu, my friend. Yes, you don't want to leave it too late, otherwise you'll end up trying to light your old barbie again in a gale and try to sizzle up your snags in the rain. Yeah, you don't want that. Don't turn your barbecues into, barbecues. That's a great line. Yeah, barbecues. I love it. Book a chat now. Hurry. Time's limited. Go to adelaideoutdoorkitchens.com.au today.
No one tells them where to buy their bok choy. They know their noppers from their noodles. And they always go the extra middle aisle with a nice reusable bag. They're Aldi to the core. Aldi. Good different.
The latest local, national and international news for South Australia. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Cloud clearing tomorrow. 17 the top, 8 the overnight low with the 5 o'clock news. I'm David Bruce. SA Health is investigating 18 staff for inappropriately accessing the medical records of Charlie Stevens. Kendall Brettig reports.
The SA Police Commissioner's son died in the Flinders Medical Centre in November after a hit and run at Goolwa during schoolies celebrations. It's now been revealed 18 SA Health staff members are under investigation for potential inappropriate access of Charlie's medical records. 10 of those workers have been suspended pending the outcome of the investigations. SA Health has apologised to the Stevens family and is keeping them informed. It brought in a termination policy in the wake of the Cy Walsh scandal when it was revealed 13 clinicians hacked into his medical records without authority after the stabbing death of his father, then Crows coach Phil Walsh, in 2015.
Former Labor Senator Fatima Payman claims she was intimidated by her Labor colleagues in the lead up to her resignation. Senator Payman will now sit as an independent in federal parliament after crossing the floor to support a Greens push for Palestinian statehood. The Prime Minister says he didn't speak to the 29-year-old in an aggressive way, but Senator Payman says there were a number of instances where she felt intimidated by other Labor members.
There were stand-up tactics of wanting to push me towards and invading that space that I had, and also just controlling and constantly pushing me for an answer when I hadn't made a decision about whether I was going to cross the floor.
4 protesters who unfurled pro-Palestinian banners from the roof of Parliament House in Canberra have been arrested. An investigation is underway into the incident. Both the Prime Minister and opposition leader have condemned their actions. Speaker Milton Dick has told Parliament free speech needs to be respectful.
I can advise the House today's protesters have received penalties and are no longer welcome in this building. They have been banned from this building. Additionally, following recent events in this House, I've already commenced a process for strengthening this framework, including the introduction of additional consequences.
Former Liberal staffer Bruce Lerman has been committed to stand trial on 2 counts of rape in Queensland. The 29-year-old is accused of raping a woman twice in Toowoomba in October 2021. Lerman was excused from attending today's proceedings but expected to watch via video link. Police in the Northern Territory believe they found the remains of a missing child after a 2-day search. The 12-year-old girl was last seen swimming in a creek. It was feared she'd been taken by a crocodile. 81-year-old Joe Biden has insisted he won't withdraw from the US presidential race, despite a number of appeals from a growing number of fellow Democrats. The BBC's Sarah Smith is at the White House, reporting that more than 20 Democrat Party governors met Mr Biden there today.
Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, said the conversation had been candid and that the president did have their support.
We were honest about the concerns that we were hearing from people, honest about the fact that as the president continued to tell us and show us that he was all in, that we said that we would stand with him because the president has always had our backs. We're going to have his back as well.
But panic within his party is rising. So far, 3 elected Democratic representatives have publicly called for him to stand aside. Dozens more are said to be losing confidence in him, as polls suggest he is falling further behind Donald Trump.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Shop the latest Pokemon cards and card accessories, all at Sports Card World, Regent Arcade, Rundle Mall.
Port Adelaide defender Dan Houston believes the Power will face a tough test against the Bulldogs this week. Houston has told 5AA the club will find out where they stack up against one of the league's most informed clubs.
I think it's a really good challenge for us to see where we're at and get that sort of feedback. But yeah, as you said, if we can just claw a few wins through this next little period, it will open right up.
Thanasi Kokonakis has completed an amazing comeback at Wimbledon. The South Aussie saved 4 match points during a game that was split across 2 days because of bad weather. No such luck for Alexander Vukic, who was beaten in straight sets to defending champion Carlos Alcaraz. And the Aussie Opals have crushed China by 28 points in their Olympic warm-up match. Now checking 5AA traffic.
The rumours are true. The new Steakhouse Stack just dropped at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
G'day there at Dry Creek, a breakdown on the Salisbury Highway in the north-south motorway. Got a car flight look out for at the moment at Theberton Port Road near Park Terrace. Really big delays back to Anzac Highway almost at the moment. Hampstead Gardens and Crash North-East Road near Muller Road, and we're slow for reverse water main at Kensington Gardens, McGill Road near Glenburn Road. Cameras today, Goddard Drive, Salisbury Park and Golden Grove Road at Golden Grove. Prime Day's coming with 6 days of epic deals exclusively for Prime members. You'll feel like a big deal. Prime Day, July 16 till 21. Included with a Prime membership, $9.99 per month. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Cloud clearing tomorrow, a top of 17 after an overnight low of 8. Sunny and 17 on Friday, then partly cloudy back to 16 on Sunday and a shower or 2 on Monday. Another day of 16. Currently, it's 13. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, invasion of privacy. SA Health staff suspended, medical records of the Police Commissioner's son accessed inappropriately. A southern suburbs teen arrested for possessing extremist material. AFL gather round in Sydney. Here are Premier's not-so-subtle sledge. And the younger generations turning their backs on booze. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Head south as the all-new GWM Cannon Alpha has arrived at Southgate GWM Ranella. Larger, smarter and gutsier than ever. Australia's first ever full hybrid ute with a combined 255 kilowatts and 648 newton metres. Also available in a turbo diesel engine with 135 kilowatts and 480 newton metres. All with 3,500 kilo brake towing capacity. Head down to Southgate GWM, 49 Main South Road, Ranella.
Tax cuts are here, and people will now start to see them in their take-home pay. The Australian Government's tax cuts are for every taxpayer, helping Australians keep more of what they earn. Visit taxcuts.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Feel good health catch on with Bupa. Get up to 10 weeks free when you join Bupa on eligible products. T's and C's apply. For award-winning health insurance, search Bupa 10 weeks free today.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Welcome back. It is 8 minutes after 5. Still to come, we have Crows and Port's teams for round 17. They're going to drop at 5:50 this evening, so we'll have them first for you. Brenan Lade from the Western Bulldogs, their assistant coach. Big game against the Power this Saturday. And Tommy Orr to talk all things Euros from Optus Sport. It is getting to the pointy end. And more of your calls, of course, 8223 0000 is the number. But right now, of course, it's a Thursday at 5. It's time to welcome in Caro.
Caroline Wilson. Thanks to Harvey Norman Clearance Centre. Cooking appliances, washing machines, dishwashers, TVs and more. 919 Marion Road, Marion.
Yes, each and every Thursday, Caroline Wilson comes onto the show. And Caroline, welcome.
Hello, Tim. How are you? How nice to hear your voice.
Well, I leave you alone for 1 week. 1 week. And you go and upset the replacement. You had a crack at the Port Adelaide coach. I'll tell you what, don't go walking down St Vincent Street.
I haven't had a crack at the Port Adelaide coach. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be in the trenches with Stephen Rowe, though, would you?
Hang on, Caro. Good afternoon. Good to hear from you. We've got a special guest. Treader, say hello to Caro.
It's very nice to be on with you both, and I absolutely refute I had a crack at the Port Adelaide coach. I simply said that the emotion that he's in an intolerable situation, and I have enormous sympathy with what he's being forced to endure. But I just think that the emotion at the end of the games that we're seeing, and I totally understood what he went through last week, is not sustainable. And I don't think it's going to help him in the long run. I really, really hope that the club gets behind him. Now, clearly Warren Tredrea isn't behind him, but that everyone else possible gets behind him so Port can have as good a year as possible.
Well, let's get that happening. What have you got on the line tonight?
Excuse me, what have I got on the line?
Yeah, what have we got? What are we talking about?
Oh, well, the first thing I thought we'd talk about is a former player from the Adelaide Crows, now at St Kilda, in Brad Crouch, who is having a terrible time and is considering his future as we speak. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see him play for St Kilda again because his injury, the injury he sustained, well, it's an ongoing degenerative bone-on-bone situation. I think he's played one game this year, Brad Crouch, in the seniors, which I'm not sure if he had a trigger into next year, so I think he's contracted for next year, but my understanding is that he's probably considering his future, and it's going to be very, very difficult to get back now with the injury he sustained.
Yeah, that's sad, isn't it, for Brad? At his best, Scotty was a premium ball. This is his knee, I gather, Caro?
Yeah,
okay.
It is, and he did further damage. I think he played in the VFL in June, early June, limped off, and that didn't go well. look, I think everyone at St Kilda is really disappointed because if you remember, he was, they made it to the finals last year, and that was largely due to his brilliant form in the midfield. And as we know, their midfield is just substandard, and they really miss Brad Crouch. So I'm not sure where it's going to end up. As I said, I believe he's contracted to next year, but I would imagine there's a negotiation going on at the moment between player and club, and unfortunately, the end of what was a really, really good career.
Yeah, we wish him well. Yeah. He's an absolute ripper. I was sad when he left. Hey, what's happening? You in reverse? Is someone running in here? What, Caro?
I've had a bit of a situation, but I'm all right.
You okay?
Thank you. Thanks for your concern. No. I just had to. I'm fine. I'm fine.
God,
everything's good.
I thought you were getting run over by treaders. I didn't know what was happening there.
I'll be quite serious for a minute, though, Stephen. I don't think Warren can do both jobs. I just think it's too difficult. His agenda, is clearly an anti-Ken agenda. I don't care what anyone says. And I think that to work for 5AA and commentate on football when you're a football director of a club. Now, I know Mark Risciuto does it and gets himself into trouble sometimes, but I think in this situation, I think it's going to be too hard for Warren, given the hugely political role he's playing at the club at the moment.
There's been people like Eddie Maguire, you mentioned Roo, Koshy does it for our club.
James Brayshaw,
he was the president.
Well, yeah, James Brayshaw wasn't really a political sort of commentator. Eddie Maguire had all sorts of problems and in the end stopped calling Collingwood games. I don't think it ever really works. I mean, Lee Matthews found it so difficult that he no longer is a football director at Brisbane. He's just a director. And even then, he occasionally, finds himself caught in situations that are very, very difficult for him to comment on. And you can tell that he's torn. I mean, I think he's really struggled with what Chris Fagan has gone through this year. Anyway, remains to be seen, but I wasn't impressed with what Warren did last week, and I think if Warren examined himself, he would know that he did the wrong thing. And unfortunately,
he didn't say.
It's just been very, very.
The bit that you guys did, though, he was basically saying thanks for your call. Could he have chosen better words? Yes, but he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't agreeing with that whole call there as the way you guys cut it up.
Well, we looked at the whole thing. We don't cut things up, Tim. We looked at the whole conversation. That caller was hostile towards Ken and the club, and good call was, I mean, there's nobody, you can't find anyone to defend your argument. And unfortunately, he did the wrong thing, put Ken under enormous pressure.
Yeah, I think Matthew Richardson actually rang Treaders and said, I thought you were saying thanks for your call. That's the way he took it, and he's the CEO.
Well, he would say that, wouldn't he? Anyway, we'll agree to disagree, but I don't know. I can't find anyone outside Port Adelaide who shares that view. And let's hope that the situation improves for Ken Hinkley this week because, well, we saw his emotions get the better of him last weekend because of the enormous pressure he'd been under. What did you think? The umpires have been under pressure. Yes. What did you think of the decision by Laura Kane and Andrew Dillon, no doubt advised by the spin doctors at the AFL, headed by Brian Walsh, not to comment every Monday on the umpires anymore?
Well, it's funny, when they started to do it, and then they stopped, and then they started again, and then they stopped. I think you've got to be one or the other. You either say, well, we're not apologising for anything, or you get up on the front foot and you do it every Monday and say, okay, these are the ones that have sort of been examined. This is what we believe happened here, and we back that one in. This one we reckon we got wrong. I reckon it's better to communicate. What do you think?
Look, I don't think it was working for them, Tim and Stephen. I don't think it was working. I thought the defence of the non-50 after the North Melbourne Collingwood game got Laura into a bit of a pickle. She's an incredibly transparent and knowledgeable footy boss at the AFL, but that was just sort of defending the indefensible, really, and it didn't really work. And I think that it was more in the end a communications decision that every Monday we're hearing firing decisions, and every Monday it's carnage. And last weekend, I mean, last weekend it was a bit down to footy. Yeah. But there were some poor umpiring decisions, and I think the view was that the headline's in the wrong spot. So I think I know there have been rule changes mid-year. I'm not so mad on that, but if you see something's not working, I don't know, it's a woman's prerogative, I guess, and I think she's done the right thing.
Okay. Well, Andrew Dillon came out, the AFL boss, and had this to say about umpires.
It's as good as it's ever been, the umpiring. You know, we're in the second year of a 4-umpire system as well, so we're on a journey with the 4-umpire system, but the competition is so tight. But I think because the competition is so tight, then maybe there's an increased focus on the umpiring.
Oh, God, that was embarrassing for the AFL. We're on a journey, so was the Titanic. I said that, and 4's not working, Karen.
Well, I think that it's good that Andrew Dillon stepped up and took control of the situation, which meant that he was obviously supporting his football boss in Laura Kane. And I honestly think it'll die down now. I mean, can you imagine if this went on to the finals, if every Monday... and look, they'll continue to talk about decisions that were wrong, such as the rush behind last weekend against Essendon, that hurt Essendon. But I think that... and if there's a really controversial call at the end of a game, but, you know, I don't think it's been good in a communication sense to have these interviews every week where Laura is explaining, justifying, not justifying, apologising for decisions that were right or wrong. And I think the umpires are in a difficult situation too. Look, I'm not sure why Andrew said it's as good as it's ever been. I don't think it's been terrific. I think players are confused. But I guess that's his job, isn't it? To be strong and steadfast.
Yeah, I think he tried to give the support, but perhaps, again, just choosing those words a little better. Hey, is the Dustin Martin thing happening? Is he going to end up with Damien Hardwick once again up in the Suns? It's hard to not look at him and think that he's not, what would you say, invested?
No, he doesn't seem invested, does he? And he doesn't seem happy. I wonder whether he wants to play football again. Would a new club reinvigorate him? Maybe. I mean, on current form, you wouldn't give him a new contract. You just wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, you wonder whether he's doing it on purpose, like almost, self.
Oh, I think that's a bit rough. I don't think that's right. I think personally, Tim, I don't think Dustin Martin is what the Gold Coast needs.
Fair enough.
I mean, he's not the sort of player they need with their list at the moment. Would he have a reinvigorated career for another couple of years? He might. But, yeah, he doesn't really seem to want to be there. I'm interested that Adamuse has removed the deadline, the sort of unofficial deadline he'd put in place at the start of the year, wanting a decision by sort of mid to late July. I think that's going to make life... Well, it either makes life difficult for Richmond because they're not going to know where their salary cap's at, or Adamuse... Maybe Adamuse's mentally checked out of Dustin Martin too. And I remember when they took the Lance, when Hawthorn took the Lance Franklin contract off the table, knowing that he was going to leave. Now, Hawthorn, I should say. I think that's probably the right thing to do. And I think, well, look, they've got a few decisions to make, Richmond, and Dustin Martin isn't the only one. I think for Dustin, I don't care what you say, if you're a player at that level, having achieved what he's achieved, it is great if you can possibly end up a one-club player. And he's seen Jack Revolt do it, he's seen Trent Cotchin do it, he's seen Shane Edwards do it, all 300 gamers before him from this, very recent, brilliant era. But as I say, it doesn't look like he wants to be there. Certainly didn't look like he wanted to be there on that cold July Sunday against Carlton at the MCG last weekend. And if he's not prepared to be that sort of player, I don't think they do need him. I'd be much more devastated if Liam Baker leaves, and that's looking more likely, I must say. And I think that, Adamuse has given his blessing. He just wants Liam Baker to play his best footy for Richmond up until the end of the year. But the club's got a lot of big decisions to make, including finding a new CEO.
Yeah, because when's he going to do the Harold Holt to Tassie?
Well, he's due to start in Tasmania in February next year, Stephen, February, March. Tasmania would like him to come earlier. And I think that what you've got at Richmond at the moment is an internal candidate in Simon Matthews, who is the brother of Dave Matthews, the GWS CEO, who is a favourite for the job. But you've got external candidates being weighed up against Simon Matthews. One of them, I'm told, is the former Essendon chief executive, the Richmond headhunters have looked at, Xavier Campbell, who's been overseas for over a year. But I can't call it as yet, but I would say certainly the strong internal favourite is Simon Matthews.
Ooh, okay. We're interactive.
So that's another big decision for the board. And while I'm at it, I reckon Adam Uze would be looking at shifting around a few of his assistant coaches too. He didn't make many changes last year, so and he did lose a couple of assistants who went for the job and didn't get it, like Xavier Clark and Andrew McWalter. So I think there might be a couple of new senior assistants at the Tigers next year as well.
I like this text, Caro, from someone that you wouldn't want to be in the trenches with, the Unique Home Style Food Text, interactive. There's no name to this. I hear Caro is releasing a new perfume. It's called Arrow-Gance. Arrogance. Like it, Caro. Hey?
Oh, they're so hysterical, absolutely hysterical.
I thought it was funny.
I don't think I'm arrogant.
No, I don't think
that's the last thing I am.
Yeah, fair call.
I've been accused of a lot of things, but never that.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, Caro, thanks for that. We'll speak next week.
Well, actually, I'm not storming off in a huff, but I'm going to be not around for a few weeks, so I'll see you towards the end of the Olympic Games.
Oh, wow.
Well, does that mean we've got to have boots on the ground for the Olympics? You'll do some crosses for us, Caro?
No, it doesn't mean that at all, Stephen.
Okay.
It means I'll see you.
You in the archery? You'll get a gold medal, I reckon.
Caro, safe travels. Love your work. Speak to you in a fortnight.
See you, boys. Bye.
Yeah, Caroline Wilson there. Who's got the credit line? Can you hand it to someone?
Might be a bit more than
Give
a
it to
fortnight.
Timmy.
The Olympics
Give it
is
to
a little
Timmy.
while away.
Give it to Timmy.
Gee whiz. All right, I haven't got long arms.
I wanted a fight then.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Well, it's not my fight. I have to stay out of it, but Port fans don't want me supporting them, but I thought you were going to
fight. Yeah.
Caro, about comments.
It's a bit last week, wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, didn't you think? Oh, we had a bit of a dispute
Oh,
over
stand up for
the
your
Warren Treadray thing.
teammate.
Stand up. Yeah.
Well, I disagreed with what they did.
You did.
And I actually
You were
didn't
strong.
like. Yeah.
I'm staying out of
She
it
didn't
anyway.
agree anyway.
It's not my fight.
You know why she was on?
Why?
Because of Harvey Norman clearance. And that's
Yes.
why, from cooking appliances to washing machines, dishwashers, TVs, and more, we're going to catch up with him, weren't we? Oh, another thing that's cancelled. Stock arriving weekly with all manufacturers' warranties. Harvey Norman Clearance Centre, 919 Marion Road, Marion.
So we're just under half an hour away from the teams dropping. Some early team news for Western Bulldogs fans, and this affects their game against Port Adelaide. Liam Jones has been ruled out with knee soreness, so that's a big blow for the Dogs.
That's good.
So we'll get the full team news at 5:50.
Good
so
defender.
that's not
You know
far
what?
away.
Todd Marshall stays in now.
Time to check the traffic.
Crash and old, no longer to look out for. Main South Road near Onkaparinga River. Hampstead Gardens, another collision. North East Road near Muller Road. And still got really big delays with the car fire at Theberton at the moment. Port Road near Park Terrace. Slow going from West Watermain at Kensington Gardens. McGill Road near Glenburn Road with the camera Gorge Road and Athelston. Tonight's dinner is ready at Faster Pasta. Lasagna, chips and salad. A main size favourite that's deliciously satisfying. Dine in or take away. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. Get a coach's perspective each week on the 5AA Sports Show when Rowey and Timmy G chat with Scott Camporeale for Coach's Corner. Thanks to Unique Homestyle Foods, proudly baking for hundreds of South Australian businesses for 35 years. See the difference.
Tommy loves to fish, and he also loves his friend who has offered Tommy the use of his boat and trailer for a long weekend. Woohoo! But Tommy's little two-door Corolla can barely top 70 k's, and that's with a tailwind. Tommy's got a problem. Lucky for him, Avis Truck Rental Adelaide has brand new utes and dual cabs with big badges, and Avis can fit them with racks, tow kits, all the toys. Woohoo! Turn got a problem into not a problem with Avis Truck Rental Adelaide. Open 7 days, 416 Port Road, West Hindmarsh. 82415200.
Drummond Golf is turning 50 and we're giving you the chance to win a new VW Golf 110 TSI Life. Get into Drummond Golf and for every $100 spent on selected big brand golf gear, you get an entry into the draw. There's over $80,000 in prizes to be won, including drivers and hundreds of Drummond Golf gift vouchers. And Drummond Club members get 2 entries for every $100 spend. Don't miss the Drummond Golf 50th anniversary and your chance to win a new VW Golf. Conditions apply. See in store or online for details.
Aldi Wagyu beef meatballs, now only $5.99 per pack, are made from 100% Aussie Wagyu beef. The only way to get more Wagyu beef meatball into them would be to get a Wagyu beef meatball to eat a Wagyu beef meatball. Aussie beef at Aldi prices. Aldi. Good different.
Imagine if I said it's a woman's prerogative to change their mind.
No,
That's what Caro said.
you won't be doing that.
No, but I didn't. I
Oh,
won't.
good.
But it is, because Jodie does. and I live it. Caro, 82230000, the sport line number. Have you say about that? Hey, if you love cars, you'll love a Mitsubishi. And if you love a Mitsubishi, you'll love the Mitsubishi Triton. And if you love the Mitsubishi Triton, you'll really love the brand new 2024 New Gen Mitsubishi Triton. I was out at their Mawson Lakes today because they're selling my car for my daughter.
Oh, right.
They are an unbelievable team, that sales team.
It's a great setup too.
That is
isn't
a brilliant setup. They've got that many people in there.
Doing the job.
Do it.
Look, especially if you're dealing with the legends at
They're
Agostino
legends.
Mitsubishi, which you are. They're putting smiles on the dials of Adelaide's Mitsi lovers for over 35 years. So they're experts in exceptional service. Just not normal service, exceptional service.
Do this.
I will.
Treat yourself to a test drive of the 2024 New Gen Mitsubishi Triton. If you do, you'll buy it. I know you will. And see for yourself. You couldn't resist snapping one of these great deals up. They've got a 10-year warranty, 10-year cap price servicing. There's only one Agostino. In actual fact, there's 2.
Yes, there is indeed. Hurry in, meet the team at Agostino Mitsubishi Nailsworth or the brand new state-of-the-art dealership, as you mentioned, Agostino Mitsubishi Mawson Lakes, and you can test drive the new 2024 Gen Mitsubishi Triton today.
Make it, build it, live it. It's the philosophy Rendition Homes have believed in for over 30 years. To make it, right from the start, you're involved with all design, colours and selections of your dream home. To build it, Rendition Homes use only the best quality artisan tradespeople to craft your dream home. And to live it, simple. It's where you get to enjoy family life that you've always wanted, in your dream home. That's make it, build it, live it. The Rendition way. renditionhomes.com.au.
This is RB Dave for Supercraft Bedding with Tales from the Bedroom. Audrey has great taste, and when it comes to choosing the bed frame or bed head, like a lot of women, she makes the final choice. So can you. Our hardwood and upholstered king and queen size bed frames are totally customisable. Choose the fabric, the stain and the style. And they're not shipped in. They're made here, so you can start enjoying it sooner. Supercraft Bedding, building better beds. 42 Richmond Road, Keswick.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
29 after 5, Brenan Lade coming up very shortly, and Crows and Ports teams at 5:50, but look out, we've got your calls coming in.
Timmy, don't sing this song, you'll get cancelled.
This is the great David Bowie.
It is. How good was he?
He was brilliant, and I sadly miss him. He was brilliant. I did get to see him live before he passed, so, which was great. But if you do like Bowie, there's an absolute Bowie show coming, I think, to the Gov. I went and saw it last year. I absolutely guarantee it.
He lost me a little bit when he started wearing lipstick. Hello, Raylene.
That was 1971.
Hello, Stephen. How are you? I'm glad you didn't answer the phone straight away before, because I was ropeable with what Karen and Wilson said about Warren Treadray. So what right has she got to say he can only handle one job and not 2? And if he wants to speak his truth, who's she to say to stop him? And she must be a Ken Hinkley lover, so there's another idiot on the earth. And that maybe the club needs someone like Treadray there to work out the it from the Clade, if you know what I mean. Because something's got to happen down at that club and get us back into what we used to be, playing good football and winning flags. And it's not going to happen while Hinkley's there, I can tell you that now.
Thanks, Raylene. So we're talking about the trees from the forest, the steam from the horse's hiss.
Yep.
The chaff
from the
chaff,
as they say. But Eddie's done it. Rue's done it. Koshy's doing it. Brayshaw did it for a long time. But Jimmy Bartell was mentioned. Now, Jimmy Bartell, there's no better polished performer than him.
No.
We have him on every Wednesday because of it, don't we? And he's a director
like him.
on the GWS board. So
I think she's
I
barking
think
up the
there
wrong
is a
tree
lot
there.
of good examples of people that have and are doing it. So, yes, no, it's possible.
A lot of unique homestyle food texts along that line as well. Fuming at what Caro said about Treaders. We'll keep taking your calls in the next half hour. Brenan Lade after the headlines.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
David Bruce with the latest news headlines. Parliament House in Canberra was the scene of two protests today. Pro-Palestinian protesters took to the roof, while climate activists glued themselves to the floor inside. In a blow for the government, Fatima Payman has abandoned the Labor Party to sit on the crossbench as an independent. South Australian man Troy Smith has been sent to an addiction centre in Bali for a few months after local police busted him for using methamphetamine. And Thanasi Kokonakis is the latest Australian to secure a place in the second round at Wimbledon. Now checking 5AA traffic.
The rumours are true. The new steakhouse stack just dropped at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
Afternoon, got a nasty crash at Old Noarlunga causing big delays. It's on Main South Road near the Onkaparinga River, affecting traffic back to the Southern Expressway. Also delays with a car fire at Theberton Port Road near Park Terrace, breakdown at Dry Creek, Salisbury Highway to the North-South Motorway, another collision at Hampstead Garden causing delays, North East Road near Muller Road. Got a camera 2, Paul's Drive at Valley View. You don't want to miss the head-turning new Ford Ranger Black Edition. Works hard, looks awesome. Inquire at your local Ford dealer now while stocks last. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The latest forecast, cloud clearing tomorrow, a top of 17 after getting down to 8 tonight. Currently it's 13. More news at 6 and as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
75% of plumbers that apply for a visa aren't getting into the country.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, what's going on is Andrew Giles is running an immigration department that's got his head up its arse. Not to put too fine a point on it. They try to kick out people like the Greens, backed up by those hand-wringing half-wits at the AAT.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
You know, if you've got headless chooks and weirdos like that in charge, no wonder.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Her mum's on the phone while she's on her skates.
Careful, honey. Don't get too close to the road.
She rides from the top of the driveway to test how fast she can go. And suddenly...
Wait, stop!
She's testing your brakes too. Stop and take time to ensure your car stops in time and the brakes are all you hit. Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. For fixed price services, call Precise.
For a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Look, I know you can buy a big brand, expensive suit, you know what, and it probably won't even fit properly. Well, what's the point of that? It'll look average. It'll feel average, more so.
Well, here's the thing. Ignition for Men, Adelaide's home of Armani, Canali and Xenia, specialise in more than just top brand suits. They specialise in making you look and feel good when you wear it. And
we're living it. We're living it. We've been fitted out, you name it. I feel $1 million when I put it on. Absolutely. And it doesn't matter what size or shape you are. Ignition for Men tailor fit their suits to you, not the other way around. It means you always feel comfortable. You'll look $1 million, and that's the best feeling of all.
It is. So if you need a suit for your work or any occasion, whether it's a wedding, a gala event, anything, your first stop should be Ignition for Men. Remember that. Just out of the city. It's at 54 Paynham Road, Stepney. It's on the right-hand side as you head out of town.
Correct.
Ignitionformen.com.au.
See movies how they should be seen. Hear movies how they should be heard. All on the big screen with Quake Sound at Wallace. And now you can see them for less and enjoy candy bar discounts and other special member offers and freebies.
Simply become a My Wallace member today. It's free, it's easy, and it's full of benefits. Go to wallace.com.au and click on Join My Wallace today. Wallace Mitcham, Mount Barker, Noongar and the Piccadilly. South Australia's home of big screen magic and entertainment.
Her mum's on the phone while she's on her skates.
Careful, honey. Don't get too close to the road. Wait, stop!
Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Welcome back at 24 minutes to 6. We aren't far away, about 14 minutes away from finding out the teams for Port Adelaide and the Crows. That'll drop at 10 minutes to 6.
We're going to get Lady on very shortly. There are 3 teams in what they call the premiership window. So that's defence or offence. You've got to be in the top 6. You've got to score above 100 and you've got to keep teams under, I think it was 72. Sydney are way in the top quarter. They just...
You could not get further in the window.
Could not get better in the window. Just behind them is Brisbane and just behind them, Western Bulldogs.
So
Big test this week.
That
Our
means
next
they're
test is
playing
Friday.
well.
They are.
So it's interesting Brisbane are in there. That's obviously the recovery that they've made.
So no Carlton because they let through too many. No Collingwood. Unreal.
Excellent. Well, you mentioned it, Port Adelaide taking on the Western Bulldogs, who are in good nick. I think they've won 5 of their last 7. And we've got one of their assistant coaches on the line, Brenan Lade. G'day, lady.
Lady.
Hey, Nipper, how you going? Rowey?
Good man. Thanks for your time. This game this week, I just mentioned, you guys are in reasonable form. Won 5 of your last 7 after a bit of a slow start when you were 3 and 5. So that must feel good that you're in form.
Yeah, we've worked pretty hard to get our system working well and has taken a little while for that to happen. But right at the moment, we're playing some good footy, but teams go through troughs of good form and troughs of bad form. It's just hopefully you're in good form longer, you're in poor form. And at the moment, we're in good form.
Yeah, that premiership window now, who knows whether, I suppose it works, I've got no idea, but it is purely about, kicking enough points and holding your opposition to a reasonable score. So you guys have been doing that, obviously, in the past 7 weeks.
Yeah, we've been doing it really well. We're able to score quite freely at times, both from stoppage and turnover, which is important. Makes it hard for us to potentially defend us. We're scoring well from both. But the positive is our defence is really holding up. I think we're the 5th or 6th best defence in the comp at the moment. But we've got a big challenge this week with Port because we know how powerful their midfield and their high backs can be, and they get supplied to those forwards, they can really score.
You saw the Port-Brisbane game. You come over for the 2004 celebrations. What did you actually glean for that? Because that was a dirty day for Port Adelaide.
Again, Timmy, I can't tell you too much about that, can I?
Yeah, I did interview him at half-time of the game and he wouldn't give me anything. So.
Oh, look, Brisbane played really well. We played them 2 weeks prior to Port playing them and they were in really good form. And I just thought that Brisbane beat them up around the contest a little bit that day. And I'm sure Port Adelaide probably think the same. And they rectified that a little bit against St Kilda last week. So we're expecting a pretty fierce contest around the ball this week, and whoever can get out of there cleanly and can connect with their forwards is going to go a long way for them winning the game.
Yeah, that's the key. How do you scout Port? Because last week was against St Kilda, and how do you do it with real certainty and accuracy about how they want to go about it, lady?
Look, we know they're a strong stoppage team and contest side. They're really good at restricting opposition marks, so they're very man-on-man generally in defence all over the ground. So that'll be something they'll be looking to stop us. I think we're one of the highest mark sides, so they'll be looking to take that off us. Our challenge will be, can we still get through and use different methods to get through their defence and hopefully get some good looks going inside 50. But we always prepare for Port Adelaide's best. While they haven't lost 3 of the last 4, they did win on the weekend, and form prior to that it suggests they're a top 4 side. So we know they can play, and hopefully they can have one more week off playing well, and they can play well the week after.
Talking them up a bit, you said they're a strong stoppage and contest side. That's their Achilles heel, lady. They've been walloped at stoppage score from, and their contest against top 4 teams is awful.
Yeah, so when they do that well, they generally win, and when they don't, they lose. So that's what we're looking at as a side, and we know they've got some great midfielders who can get the ball from inside to outside really fast, and if we have no pressure on those plays, they'll be able to connect, and that really worries us. So, it'll be a big day for us around the ball, and hopefully we can, restrict but also expose them the other way.
You're too smart for me, the boy from Kangaroo Island. Liam Jones and Cody Waitman are believed to both be out. Is that true?
Teams haven't come out yet, have they, Rowey?
No.
7 minutes, lady.
Come on, mate.
7 minutes. Yeah, so I'm not sure if they're in or out yet.
Okay.
I'll find out in probably 7 minutes like you guys. But, yeah, they've been through a few tests this week at training, and we'll see how they pull up in 7 minutes' time.
Hey, mate, it took you a while to shake off North Melbourne. Are they improving, you reckon?
Well, they only lost by a couple of points against Melbourne and a couple of points against Collingwood, and they're both top 8 sides. So they've definitely improved, play a real contested brand of football, real one-on-one. And it's got everyone buying into what they're focusing on at the moment, which seems to be defence and pressure. So they're getting some good looks the other way. But, yeah, they're a lot better than their record suggests at the moment.
And, of course, you are in good form. You're 8-7, 9th on the ladder. These sort of wins are just vital to give you that look at the 8, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. I think it's one of the first or second times we've been above the ledger, so having more wins than losses, and that's great. But Port are 9-6 at the moment, so they're another win in front of us. It's just another one of those games where the team's around you and you've got to win. And look, we love getting on the road, and in the past we've generally played pretty well at Adelaide Oval, and hopefully it renders true again this week.
The tagger seems to be coming back into the game. Do you guys use anybody in particular if you have to do that role? And are you expecting perhaps Willem Drew to go to somebody in your team?
Yeah, we've used it this year a few times, Timmy, and it's worked well at times, and it hasn't worked well at other times. So it's a little bit depending on the opposition. And Port Adelaide have got obviously Butters and Rowey and Horn Francis through that midfield, who are really important. And we'll be putting some time into some of them, and hopefully we can restrict them. But we do expect Drewy to go to Bond. Did him twice last year and did him quite well. So we've been working through that all week and fully expecting that'll happen again. And he'll be inside on Bontempelli as much as the game allows it to be.
Where's Libber at, lady?
Well, he's been one of those players that's done a few little stoppage roles for us in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So. And done it quite well. We did Davies Uniacke last week and had 3 clearances in the first quarter, and then he didn't have any after that. So he did a really good job. And but he's playing quite well. He's starting to slot back into the side. It's only his 3rd game in about 10 weeks, so he's still building his fitness again. But we know how tough he is, and we look forward to his toughness this week against that Port midfield.
Will Rory Lobb go back? How do you roll with him?
Yeah, he was pretty handy last week as a defender, and competed really well, and had Jonesy helping him with his positioning and whatever else. So it looks like he'll probably start back again this week, and we'll keep Darcy, Ugle-Hagan and Norden forward and see how that goes. And if it's not working, we'll look to change it.
Yeah. The team's just dropped. Liam Jones is out, and so is Cody Waitman.
Oh, thanks for that, mate. That's good to hear.
Mate, you're not going to beat him at poker.
Don't pee down my back and tell me it's raining. Lady, love you. You know that.
Thanks for your time, buddy. Really appreciate it.
No worries, boys. See you on the weekend.
Good man. Midfield coach of the Western Bulldogs, Brenan Lade, and one of the
He's
great
the smartest big man I know.
Oh, well, how good a player was he?
Big man I know. He'll coach one day.
I just love watching him play.
God, stop it.
Man, I just get excited.
What tit do you want it on?
Yeah.
Left or right?
He was magnificent. By hand, foot, you name it.
Brilliant talent.
Highly skilled.
15 minutes to 6. We'll have the teams for Crows and Port Adelaide straight after the break. And just an update for those travelling on the Southern Expressway and down south today. There is a traffic alert at the moment. It is banked up with a 4-car crash at the southern end of the Southern Expressway, Old Nollunga. So there's tows that have been organised to the scene. They'll clear it in about half an hour, but it's down to 1 lane moving extremely slowly. So for more traffic update, here it is.
Nasty crash at Old Nollunga to look out for. It's on Main South Road near the Onkaparinga River heading outbound with delays back to the Southern Expressway at the moment. Delays also at Hampstead Gardens, North East Road near Muller Road for a crash, and a car fire making it super slow at Theberton Port Road near Park Terrace. Cameras this afternoon, Grenfell Road, Banksia Park and Kelly Road at Valley View. Can you keep a secret? The IKEA sale is now on, up to 80% off hundreds of products until July 22. Head to ikea.com.au before everyone finds out. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey
and Timmy G
on the 5AA Sport Show.
5AA's AFL Weekends.
Thanks to the new McSmart meal from Macca's. 2 burgers, small fries and small soft drinks.
$6.95.
T's and C's apply.
Budget Car and Truck Rental has everything you need to get from A to B easily. With a huge range of trucks, vans, cars, utes, hybrids, 12 to 25-seater buses and more. Plus extras like trolleys, trailers, boxes, furniture covers, tapes and blankets. We've got any move covered. With multiple locations across Metro and Regional SA, it couldn't be easier. Budget Car and Truck Rental. Get to the good stuff. Call 13 27 27 or visit budget.com.au.
CMAX Clinical Research is investigating a potential treatment to help millions of people affected by autoimmune conditions. But we can't do this alone. We need proud South Australians like you to join us and make a difference. If you're aged 18 to 55 and have no significant health concerns, you may be eligible. Once you complete the trial, you'll be paid for your time. Ready to help advance tomorrow's healthcare? Visit cmax.com.au today. That's cmax.com.au.
Chanellas, well, they've been feeding hungry families for over 65 years. Can you believe that, Joe and the team? Unreal. Through thick and thin, they've always been there providing the best and freshest produce available.
They are the best one-stop shop in this state. In actual fact, Australia...
Well, you're a lot closer to it now. You'd be loving it.
Oh, Jody is there every day. I love going there. Their bakery, their fruit and veg, their butcher. From fussy eaters to vegan to those on special dietary requirements, Chanellas has every damn thing you need.
Correct, and it's not just their huge fresh produce range you can depend on, it's the chefs at Chanella. They do all the hard work for you as well. The stunning pre-prepared meals cooked daily using the freshest of local ingredients, and they're all ready to take home. Right now, go and get some.
I love the mortadella.
Oh, yeah.
I can't go there. I always buy a couple of bucks and I eat it before I even get to the car.
Yeah, they don't know, do they?
I love this joint.
You go to the family and they say, your breath smells like mortadella.
Pepper mortadella. You can also shop online with Chanellas, have it delivered to your door, or take advantage of Chanellas' click and collect service.
Chanellas, best and fresh. It's a way of life.
Thinking of painting and don't know where to start?
We do, because we know paint at Crowey's.
So, visit Crowey's. And while you're there, join Crowey's Club to get 10% off everything.
We know paint at Crowey's.
Now at Harvey Norman, bonus local delivery on selected mattresses. That's right, receive bonus local delivery on selected mattress purchases over $999. Now's the time to update, upgrade or upsize your mattress with big deals on big brands Sealy, Sleepmaker, King Coil by AH Beard and Tempur, plus bonus local delivery. Experience the latest in sleep technology. Choose your feel. Find the perfect mattress for you. Hurry, bonus local delivery on selected mattress purchases is for a limited time only at Harvey Norman now. Best range, best brands, best prices guaranteed. Available in-store only. Conditions apply.
This is RB Day for Supercraft Bedding with Tales from the Bedroom. We've been making quality mattresses here at Supercraft Bedding for a long time. They're better than good. They're flippin' good. That's to say, our double-sided mattresses last twice as long as single-sided ones. And as for all those mattress makers that say you only need to do one side, well, that's fine, but don't charge full price for half a mattress. Supercraft Bedding, building better beds. 42 Richmond Road, Keswick.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sport Show.
11 minutes to 6. The teams are imminent. They'll drop in seconds. And we have your calls as well to take. 8223 0000.
Hello, Michael.
G'day, boys. How are you?
Hey, Michael.
I must admit, I'm normally a fan of Caro. I usually think she's pretty spot on. Maybe it's because it's my club. I'm defensive, but she has lost the plot. Did Treaders drive over a dog? Can we get someone out in Melbourne to confirm that? Because she has absolutely stitched him up. Now, I watched Footy Classified, and I heard what Tread. I heard, listened to the program. She has given him a stitch up like you wouldn't believe. So she's obviously got an agenda. And then she comes on and has the audacity to back it up and say, you can't do both roles. She is kidding herself. You've listed the previous people that have all done it. We've got fathers commentating sons. Rowey, you did it well. Luke Darcy does it. You've got player managers commentating their own players. Like, come on. And Treadray's the one that's untenable or can't do both roles. She's lost the plot. What I do want to say on Ken Hinkley, and we shouldn't forget, he did a good job at the start, and no one wanted to coach Port, and he came over and he did a great job for the first couple of years. And you can't blame a guy for signing a contract that's been put in front of him. We need a change. But how's the protection racket he's got around him? Like, if this was any other coach, Caro they'd be calling for blood. They did it to Buckley. They did it to coach after coach. And it's like, got him, who's the next one in line? Yeah. Luke Beveridge has copped more than you can imagine. He's a premiership coach. Yeah. And yet Ken just skates on through with no one daring actually question whether he's the right man for the job anymore. Yeah. It's crazy. So
Michael, well done. Dare I say, good call for those. Well, it's a gag, everyone.
It's a good gag. Yeah, I know where you're going.
Thank you for that, Michael. For those that missed Caro earlier, for Harvey Norman, here she is.
I don't think Warren can do both jobs. I just think it's too difficult. It's clearly an anti-Ken agenda. I don't care what anyone says. And I think that to work for FIVEAA and commentate on football when you're a football director of a club. Now, I know Mark Prosciutto does it and gets himself into trouble sometimes, but I think in this situation, I think it's going to be too hard for Warren, given the hugely political role he's playing at the club at the moment.
Right, and that Michael said he doesn't agree. There's lots of people that said they don't agree. I actually did say to her, look at the names that have done it or are doing it, and it's including our own chairman, David Koch, who's, was a massive media personality and is the president of the club. Jimmy Bartell came up, and I think he's probably the best example of a guy who's a director on a board of GWS, who's outstanding in the media.
Rue's done it for 11 years.
Rue's done it for 11 years. So there's plenty of examples. Now, I tend to agree with Michael. It's a bit far-fetched to say that he's the only one that can't do it.
Kim, before we get you, I can do the Crows team. Brody Smith is named in the 18, and we know Will Hamill's out with it's got down here admitted, I thought he had a broken hand or a finger or something.
He's had a broken, he's set for surgery for a finger.
And the emergencies of ball ace Chase Jones and Chris Burgess. We had Burnsy on, and he confirmed that Zach Taylor will play, which is fantastic. So I'd say one in, one out. That's it for the Crows. They've got the game on Sunday live and local on 5AA.
So they'll sharpen that team down to the right amount, the full team tomorrow at 4:30. Port Adelaide have named a full team for Saturday. Timmy, have you got it?
Oh, I have got it. So the ins are Jace Burgoyne and Francis Evans, and the outs, Josh Sin is injured.
Minor quad.
So that's unfortunate. Will Lorenz has been omitted, and I did say I don't like doing that to kids. I really don't. But that's what's happened. So just looking at the team, the emergencies are Lorenz, Cleary and Byzantini, who had a big game last week. That's currently what the lineup is. Now, Brenan Lade would give us absolutely nothing when we were talking about the Western Bulldogs, and they, Liam Jones and Cody Waitman are out. So
massive outs.
I don't know whether you're a clairvoyant or whether you got SPC or ESP, one of the two, but you knew it.
ESP,
you knew it.
POC. Just back to Port Adelaide, a couple of big things for me.
Yes.
Still no Cyril Rioli. Not Cyril, Willie.
No, Willie.
Played with Willie and Cyril, played with both their dads. No Willie, no Junior.
It's a blow.
And number 4 is still there. Let's go to Tea Tree Gully. Hello, Kim.
G'day, Rowey. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Kim.
I was going to speak to you about Fagan's paddock because it hadn't been mentioned at the time, but it has been mentioned since. But I think you guys in the station, you've got to bite the bullet and you've got to ditch the witch. Mate, she's like Hanoi Hannah. Once she gets her teeth stuck in it, she's done it to James Hird, Stephen Silvani, our Tex Walker, and now she started on Warren Treadray. And then she finished up with the footy classified having a go at Ken Hinkley for brave lads, and, because she said they had a lucky 2-point win. It's ridiculous to go on like that. No, who does she think she's... It's all negative and criticising. Let's have the positives like Jimmy Bartell, Matthew Lloyd, and what about Thomas? He's good. Let's have some people we're getting some good, constructive information and comments about. Not all this negativity stuff and everything. I don't think she's a plus for your station and you guys. I'm looking forward, to something bright, not something dull.
Yeah,
All right, Kim.
Thanks for your call,
support.
Kim. But yeah, no, I don't go into the name calling. I'll tell you off about that as well.
You do?
And don't go into that. Just say you don't like a comment, fair enough, but don't get into name calling. So,
I'm
but
good
besides
at name
that, Kim,
calling.
thanks for the call.
How's the lady earlier on the show called the umpires Vegemite heads?
Vegemite jars.
Vegemite jars.
Yes. So I'll be expecting to hear that on the call this week.
Caro can. I agree with Kim, and far be it for me to say good call. I'm not going to, but with calls that, I don't reckon she could be any further from the truth with this, with Treaders. People say, "Oh, Rowey, you're just supporting a colleague."
Well,
no, I call it as I is. I can't for the life of me get my head around this.
I don't think she really thought about the previous examples and current examples of people that do it. So you can't say one person can't do it if others are. So you either can or you can't.
No.
So maybe she just thinks that what she perceives as the agitation that is going on, that she believes Shredders is causing, is the reason for not being able to do both. But yeah,
not getting a lot of love on the text screen, are we?
No, it's an interesting time. It is time for the 6 o'clock news. We'll take more of your calls after the break.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Phantom Screens are the only manufacturer that make outdoor blinds up to 12 metres long. More than enough for an outdoor entertainment kitchen, a mini golf course, a herd of mountain goats, and the 190B Buster Mitchum. Since 1995, Phantom Screens have been improving homes with top quality, powder-coated, aluminium-framed, retractable screens. Whatever space you have, there's a Phantom Screen for you at phantomscreens.com.au.
Go Vita, your local health food shops. Over 30 years health and wellness experience and over 300 natural health practitioners specialising in you.
Hi, I'm Wayne from Go Vita Mount Barker. We've got Fusion Astra 8 60 tablets, not $49.95, just $29.95. Fusion Astra 8 contains astragalus and reishi mushrooms. Always read the label and follow directions for use.
Go Vita, Colonnades, Fairview Green, Marion, Mount Barker, Monopara, Semaphore and Tanunda.
Save on winter snacks at Coles. With Uncle Toby's Muesli Bars 6-pack, now half price at just $2.75. That's less than 50 cents a muesli bar. That's great value, hands down at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
If you're packing up your family to travel across the land will treat you different in a Dave Benson caravan.
30 years in business and proudly Aussie made. You'll always find the van for you under cover and in the shade. We've got the largest indoor showroom, so come and say g'day. Whether it's a caravan or RV, visit DBC today. So clear out the calendar and cancel all your plans, because there's never been a better time to visit Dave Benson Caravans.
Beechwood Homes, Adelaide's leading bespoke home builder, celebrates 35 years. Now, over that time, they've helped many hundreds of people realise their dream of building a home exactly how they envisaged it. I've said it for years, they build ours, and I wouldn't go anywhere else. If we ever get to do it again, I'm a Beechwood man all the way. That's the wonderful thing about building with Beechwood. There is no set plans, no rules. It all starts with pen and paper. Jodie's case, I've said it, a mood board. You present it to their team, and then bingo, kadingo, kawackety-o, there it is, and you go, oh, what was that? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh my God! Under construction right now is another Beechwood home masterpiece. It's at Blackwood Park. This breathtaking display home will showcase Beechwood's dedication to cutting-edge design, craftsmanship, innovation, and to understand what people really want in a home they truly call their own. Roger and the team, absolutely superb. So if you can dream it, well, Beechwood Homes can build it. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
5AA is inviting you into the studio every afternoon. Head to the 5AA live stream. Thanks to Foodland. With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland. The mighty South Aussies. Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Cloud clearing tomorrow, a top of 17, 8 the overnight low. With the 6 o'clock news, I'm David Bruce. A South Australian man who was busted with methamphetamines in Bali has avoided jail and will instead spend a few months in an Indonesian rehab facility. Troy Smith from Port Lincoln could have been jailed for life after local police found the drug in his hotel room. But a Balinese court today found it was for his personal use, and he's been sent to an addiction treatment centre in Denpasar for a 6-month stay. Parliament House in Canberra has been targeted by 2 separate protests over the war in Gaza and climate change. Federal political reporter Zach De Silva reports from Federal Parliament.
Earlier today, 4 men with their faces covered climbed over a security fence and ran onto the roof of Parliament House. They unfurled large black banners with pro-Palestinian slogans here out the front of the building and were in place for more than an hour. Eventually, the group came down and were led away by police. A cherry picker is now being used to inspect for any damage. The coalition is demanding an investigation into the security breach. At the same time, inside Parliament, around a dozen climate change protesters glued themselves to the floor in the building's foyer.
As expected, rogue Labor Senator Fatima Payman has announced she's quitting the ALP to sit as an independent. Senator Payman upset her Labor colleagues when she recently crossed the floor to vote with the Greens on the question of Palestinian statehood and was suspended indefinitely by the party. She says her conversation with the Prime Minister and her resignation from the party had to happen after she was made to feel exiled from the party.
It was a stern but a fair conversation, just like how I characterised the previous one, in saying that it was, I didn't know what I was going into in terms of not having a support person, but nonetheless, it was a conversation that needed to be had.
There are reports that remains have been found in the search for a missing 12-year-old child in the Northern Territory. Siobhan Fay reports.
A desperate search for the child was launched on Tuesday evening after they were last seen swimming in Mango Creek, 350 kilometres southwest of Darwin. There were fears that they'd been attacked by a crocodile. For 2 days, authorities scoured the area in the hopes of locating the missing child. But in a tragic update, the ABC is reporting that remains have been located today.
More than 12,000 people in California have been ordered to evacuate their homes as a huge wildfire rages in the north of the state. Hundreds of hectares of grass and woodland near the state capital of Sacramento have been consumed by flames since Tuesday. The polls are open in the UK and Brits are casting their votes, which could deliver one of the biggest landslides in the country's modern history. Jessica Millward reports.
The polls have opened in UK's general election, and if early predictions are to be believed, Rishi Sunak is about to have his last day in office. The latest YouGov poll forecasts an historic win for Labor, set to have the largest majority since 1832. The big issues for voters at this election: migration, cost of living and health. Publicly, the PM says it's not over until every vote is counted. But at this point, a new government in the UK by the end of today is all but certain.
5AA Sport now.
Shop the latest Pokemon cards and card accessories, all at Sports Card World, Regent Arcade, Rundle Mall.
Australia's equestrian team has been locked in for Paris. Edwina Tops-Alexander has been named to become Australia's first 5-time Olympian show jumper. Thanasi Kokkinakis is the latest Australian to book his place in the second round at Wimbledon. He's come from 2 sets down and survived 4 match points to beat 17th seed Felix Auger-Aliassime in a match played over 2 days in London. Jordan Thompson and Alexander Vukic have bowed out. Now checking 5AA traffic.
The rumours are true. The new Steakhouse Stack just dropped at Macca's. Try it today at Macca's.
Got a smash at Old Noongar causing big delays. Main South Road near the Onkaparinga River area. Really heavy delays back to the Southern Expressway at the moment. Crash at Hampstead Gardens, North East Road near Muller Road, and Kensington Gardens burst water main slowing up proceedings. McGill Road near Glenburn Road. The 40 Winks flash sale is on now. Get bed matched in store and receive up to 50% off your mattress purchase. Don't miss out. T's and C's apply. 40 Winks, serious about sleep. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Cloud clearing tomorrow, a top of 17 after an overnight low of 8. Friday, sunny and 17. Sunday, partly cloudy and back to 16. And a shower or two on Monday, 16 again. Currently, it's 12 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thank you, I'm Brenton Branglis. Tonight, SA health workers stood down amid an investigation into the accessing of health records of the Police Commissioner's son, who died in hospital after a schoolie's hit-run. Plus, a southern suburbs teen arrested by anti-terror police for possessing extremist material. And don't worry, you haven't missed the news. Start over on 9 now as soon as you're home.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Welcome back. It is 6 minutes after 6. Teams have been named for this weekend for the Crows and Porter. Adelaide sides for the Crows, the one change for now in their squad. Brodie Smith returns. Of course, Will Hamill comes out with that broken finger. He'll be a few weeks out of the side. Borlays, Chase Jones and Chris Burgess have also been included in that. For Port Adelaide, their full side includes Jace Burgoyne coming back into the team from that hamstring recovery. Francis Evans is into the team as well. Will Lorenz, unfortunately, the debutant last week, has been brought out. And Josh Sims suffering a minor quad injury concern, so he will be rested this weekend. Willie Rioli is going to go through the sample, so that is an interesting pickup from this weekend. And Cody Waitman and Liam Jones for the Dogs, they are big outs as well. So we'll keep you up to breast with all that news tomorrow, especially for Adelaide, whose team will drop completely at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon.
Well, every match of the UEFA Euro 2024 and Copa America USA 2024 will be broadcast live and exclusive on Optus Sport, and one of their magnificent experts and a bloke that's well worth listening to. He's an energetic bunny, I reckon. G'day, Tommy Orr. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Mate, the Euros so far, we're getting to the pointy end, aren't we? We've got the quarterfinals on now. How have you seen it so far?
Yeah, it's been really entertaining. I think there's been a lot of surprises. I think a lot of the big teams that everybody thought would be, put in a lot of convincing performances have underwhelmed so far. But at the same time, they've somehow, the likes of England and France, they've managed to stay in the tournament. And, in tournament football, doesn't matter how you play, it's just that you win. So they're still here, and it's up to the exciting quarter-final stage now.
Yeah, exactly. Just survive, and then we can turn it on later on, perhaps, and see how that goes. Hey, Germany have been the host. How's it been, and is it an advantage or a disadvantage for the host nation?
I think it's definitely an advantage, and I think that, they've had a terrific tournament so far, and by all reports and from all the scenes that you've seen, I think the culture and the vibe around Germany has been really positive. From everybody, from all the countries, and you see a lot of the different nations coming together. So I think it's been a fantastic tournament so far. And no, I think that, with their big game against Spain early on Saturday morning, I think that'll work as a big advantage for them in that game because, having so many home fans behind you makes a massive difference at that level.
Well, Spain and Germany, who's had the tougher draw so far, you reckon?
Definitely. I think Spain's group, they had Italy and Croatia in their group, who are always obviously difficult opponents. And so I think that, they probably had the harder of the group stages. But then in the round of 16, I think a lot of people would argue that they had the easier of the draw. They played Georgia, and Germany had a really tricky game against Denmark. So both teams have had, matches against difficult opponents so far. But for both sides, this will be easily the biggest test because I think that from what we've seen so far in the tournament, whoever wins this game is probably the favourites to go on to win the whole thing.
Portugal and France, they play after that game. Now, Portugal got through on penalties and France won 1-0. But how are Portugal travelling and how's the great Ronaldo going in your eyes?
Yeah, I think both sides, both France and Portugal, as I touched on before, they've been a little bit underwhelming in their performances, but they've found a way to keep winning. And I think this is going to be a difficult game for Portugal in the sense that they just had a really tough game obviously in the round of 16 that went all the way to penalty shootout, and they've got quite an ageing squad. So the likes of Ronaldo and Pepe and all these players are, just either side of 40. So, to bounce back physically from that big game the other day is going to be a big test for them. But at the same time, they obviously have so much quality on paper that you can never rule them out.
But whoever gets through, you've got to play quarters, this weekend. Then you've got, I think on the 10th is the semis. And then basically the 14th we get the final. You're playing a lot of games in that short time. So you're right, the management of those older stars is going to be pretty important to the result.
Yeah, and I think, in tournament knockout football, there's no guarantee. Every game's knockout, so you can't really afford to rest your best players. So I think that if they're feeling, even remotely close to 100% fit, they'll obviously play. But at the same time, the emotion of these games, playing for your nation on such a big stage, the players always seem to get up for it. And obviously in club football in Europe too, I think the players are pretty, well conditioned and used to playing this regularly. But as I said, I think the emotion of this tournament and then, the stage that they're on is definitely an extra factor.
Well, England, you said, have made their way through. They play Switzerland. Switzerland knocked out Italy, so they can't be travelling too bad. That's going to be 2 a.m. Sunday morning, which is basically most people's Saturday night, if they're enjoying it. I think they'll be out in force, let me tell you. I might have to watch this one at home on Optus Sport, but how do you see that one coming out?
Yeah, no, it'll be a really interesting one. I think that, if you're going purely off this tournament and what we've seen so far, Switzerland, you would fancy them in this game. And I think they'll go into this game with full belief that they can make a bit of an upset because England, on paper, has obviously one of the strongest teams at the tournament. But in terms of their performances, they have been very unconvincing. And they were only 1 minute away from getting knocked out in the round of 16 and, what was a pretty underwhelming performance. So, but at the same time, it's the same story again. They've found a way to keep going in the tournament. And, if they can click at this stage of the tournament, then they have the ability to win the whole thing. So that's going to be a really interesting one.
The fans have what would you say? They're not really happy with the way they're going about it. The manager, Gareth Southgate, he's under the pump. I think they've scored, 2 goals in 3 matches or something ridiculous. So they're not playing, what would you say, real attacking high-risk football, are they?
No, and I think I think a lot of the English fans are frustrated because they probably have the strongest team in attack at the whole tournament, and some of he's probably playing quite defensively, knowing that's their biggest weakness, and I think that it's probably stunting the performances of a lot of the attacking players. But at the same time, you could argue he's vindicated so far because they've obviously got all the way to the quarterfinals, and I think the defence before the tournament was probably what everyone was saying was their biggest weakness. So it's understandable that he would take that approach.
Well, he's doing all right then, doing his job. The last one, Netherlands beat Turkey. Who's the favourite in that one?
Yeah, this one's a tough one. I think that both teams will fancy themselves in this one because on their day they've both been terrific in this tournament and been, up there with the most impressive teams, but they've been very inconsistent and both had some really disappointing games as well. So I think the Netherlands will probably, be slight favourites in this one. They've just got so much experience with the likes of Virgil van Dijk at the back and, players that play for the biggest clubs in the world. So I think the Netherlands will probably be the favourites for that one.
Looking forward to it. We can catch it all, of course, on Optus Sport. Tommy, you've been a terrific man. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Good on you. Tommy Orr, of course, ex-Socceroo. Fantastic player. I love watching him locally too. Every match on the UEFA Euro 2024 and the Copa America USA 24 will be broadcast live and exclusive on Optus Sport. Tommy Orr, our guest.
Excellent to hear what's going on with the quarters around the corner. Hey, Timmy, interesting story as we go to the break, and we'll play some of this on the other side. The Premier has had some pretty strong words about how Gather Round could have started if it started in New South Wales. He took us inside the meeting with Gil McLachlan a few years ago.
Wow.
This is really, really interesting stuff because it's not just it's political talk. There is some strong words used by Peter Malinauskas. Wow. I'm looking forward to hearing this. We'll play it to you after the break.
Delighted to have with me today Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop Real Estate. Bronte, is it fair to say Adelaide's property market is giving Melbourne a run for its money?
It is. Adelaide's median house prices have, for the first time ever, surpassed the 900,000 mark.
Which is astonishing. What's driving that growth?
Adelaide has maintained an affordable cost of living, accompanied by outstanding amenities and distinct lifestyle advantages when compared to other major cities. We've also seen significant local government investment in infrastructure that's boosting Adelaide's appeal as a place to reside.
So what does that mean then for those considering selling?
Now's the time. Here at Toop and Toop, we're backed by nearly 4 decades of real estate experience and a successful track record of fetching top-tier sale prices in this thriving market. For more information, visit our website toop.com.au.
It's Milton from Vidoulis Garden Centre. After 64 years, Vidoulis Garden Centre is closing its doors. With huge savings on all stock, now is the best time to come in and grab a bargain. Plants, pots, fertilisers and tools, gifts, homewares and outdoor furniture. It's all got to go. First in, best dressed. Vidoulis Garden Centre's closing down sale. On now while stocks last. Main North Road, Gawler, opposite the racecourse.
Now, the Excelsior Hotel, it's normally like a cosy little friend, you know, like it feels like home.
Correct.
But this Sunday, the Excelsior Hotel will take on the big freeze for MND, and the tickets are $15. Now, they include a complimentary drink, sausage sizzle.
How good's that?
And a Stephen Rowe.
They can dunk me.
Yeah.
So it's a dunking machine.
How
Freezing
good.
cold water. I did it last year. You pin me and I go.
How good's that?
And you can group the tunes. It's a great day. TJ Tommy Tequila. I'll be able to
Great name.
load you up with that.
Yeah.
Or bid in the silent auction for a chance to win 2024 Cox Plate. It's the event. It's at the Cox Plate.
Yeah.
Full food and beverage package for 10 people. Check out socials for event and ticket details for the big freeze. It's July 7th. This Sunday at the Excelsior Hotel. How good will that be?
Correct. Gotta love the Excelsior Hotel. Feels like coming home.
Correct.
But better. You know, it's a Barreau Hotel.
Tax cuts are here, and people will now start to see them in their take-home pay. The Australian government's tax cuts are for every taxpayer, helping Australians keep more of what they earn. Visit taxcuts.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Drums, please. Unprecedented, unparalleled, unrivaled. For the very first time, Edwardstown Mazda is offering discounts greater than 10% on all Mazda demonstrator models. Every demo, every model with a minimum discount of 10%. Plus a minimum trade-in of $2,000 on your old vehicle. This offer is exclusive to Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA.
Enter the Barnacle Bill promotion today for your chance to win in the Barnacle Bill Treasure Chest giveaway. Fill out an entry form online for your chance to win a treasure chest every week for a year.
Fresh from the sea, it's gotta be Barnacle Bill.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
It's 17 minutes after 6 on this Thursday night. We'll get back to your calls in a minute, 8223 0000. Right now, though, we've got tickets for you and 3 mates to get along to the Adelaide Beer and Barbecue Fest, which is on the weekend of July 12 to 14 at the Adelaide Showgrounds. An awesome weekend. If you want to get along, those tickets right now, 8223 0055. Get on the phone. You can also head to beerbarbecuefest.com.au.
So you're talking about a festival.
Yep.
Where there is beer.
Yep.
And barbecues.
Yeah.
Couldn't get two things better together.
It's amazing. It's a man's dream. And
How
ladies'
good.
dream.
It's outstanding.
Looking forward to
Now,
it.
there's a grab you want to play, Tim.
Well, I teased, well, you heard Sammy tease it a little bit there. We all know that we've got Gather Round. We've had 2 of them. We're launching into the 3rd and 4th. We spoke to the Premier during the week. And there's a friend of ours, Dylan Buckley. We interviewed him earlier in the year. And, of course, he does a podcast, as a lot of people do. But he had our own Premier on and interviewed him about how they went about negotiating for Gather Round. Now, have a listen to these very insightful grabs.
We learned pretty quickly that this was all going to Sydney. The whole thing was designed to go to Sydney. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I want to invest a bit of energy and effort into it in terms of just making a presentation to Gil personally. Yeah. And I went pretty hard in one meeting in particular.
What did you do in the meeting?
I told him how stupid it would be to take it to Sydney. I said, we want it year 1. And he said, well, how about if I came back to you and said, you can have it in year 2. We'll go to Sydney and have it. I said, I'm not interested. I told him the truth. I said, I'll say no to it because after year 1, it'll be dog shit. You'll go to Sydney and you're going to have Brisbane versus Freo in a stadium and I'll be able to count on one hand how many people are there. But I said, go to Sydney year 1 and you kill it. And I said, don't come to me in year 2. And if you do come to me in year 2, the offer that we're putting on the table is going to be worth a lot less.
How good.
How strong is that?
Well, he won it.
He won it.
He won it.
And I didn't think anything he said there wasn't untrue. He was just selling the option of South Australia and saying this is the best option, this is the reasons why. Now, if you want to go there and do that and have nobody at Brisbane be...
Don't come cap in hand next year.
Don't come back
Well
cap
said.
in hand. So it is part of negotiating, and he was pretty strong on it.
Well, he's got charisma, he's got the coolions, and he's got it. He walked the walk, talked the talk, and we have delivered because he had the utmost faith. We deliver. I love it. How good is that? And Adam Kingsley from GWS Giants had this to say on the back of it.
It's hard to know. I mean, it just depends on what the priorities are at head office, really. I mean, if they want to make money and they want to have as their record attendances and all that sort of stuff, then Gather Round in Adelaide is fantastic. If their ambition is to grow the game and trying to tap into a market that is currently untapped, then I think Sydney's the option. If you ask South Australians, they have animosity towards Victorians and West Australians and everyone.
Well, he'd know that. What year did Sydney move up there?
82, I reckon they transferred
Been
up.
there
So
a while.
look, there's other ways of promoting the game in
course
there.
there is.
Gather Round might not be the best option for that. Now
they had opening round.
They
this year.
had opening round, and I think that was a better concept because it had the bigger drawing clubs, and it got them up there almost in a mini Gather Round. So that's okay. We all agree though. We need to play those other games on the Sunday and the Monday to get a full round. You can't have a zero round.
They'll do that. Hello, Adriano.
Hi, how you going, boys?
We're all yours.
I haven't heard any other calls since Caro's segment.
Yep.
But I don't know how you persist with her sometimes, honestly. The way she's going at Treaders, I think that's just garbage because he apologised after the good call comment. I listened to that call and I didn't think anything of it, and I'm an avid Port supporter. And then to have a go at him last week was a joke, and then she comes on again this week and she does it again. When she referred to last week about the Ken Hinkley lovers, she's obviously talking about herself, and it probably wouldn't surprise me that Ken gives her the teams before you get them because she always knows in advance who's going to be in and who's going to be out. So she is obviously an avid Ken Hinkley lover, and I don't know why you continually persist with this woman who sometimes, I don't know where she comes from because she's a very, very biased Victorian and everything. And because Ken's Victorian, you pick on a Victorian and she'll have a go. And I mean, Treadray's doing his job. He made a mistake. He admitted to it. He just basically apologised and said it was misinterpreted and, it should have been the end of it. But now she wants to carry it on for another 2 weeks. I think it's garbage.
Thanks, Adriano. Very strong. Just in defence of Caro, I have enjoyed her company when I've been in her presence. I've spoken to her on this show now for 12, 13, 14 years. She was on well before that. She has heritage with 5AA. And Adriano, she's a colleague of ours, certainly a colleague of mine for a long period of time. She can get a set on things. We got a text here. Caro killed off Stuart Dew, Rodney Eade, Eddie Maguire, Brett Ratton, Nathan Buckley, Grant Thomas, Don Pike, Alistair Clark, and that. She's going with Treadray. She's just firm in her opinions. Some are right and some are wrong. And I'm not going to pot anyone that has an opinion because I do. And some people love it and others hate it. She's polarising. She is truly the first lady of football and she's bloody good at what she does.
Yeah.
Because you've rung Adriano.
Yeah, I think she's got this one wrong.
Correct.
Yeah.
I support you on
and
that.
That's the bit,
But
it's
we can't always be right.
Correct. But like you say, she won't back down from her opinion.
No.
But there's too many examples to sort of say that Treaders is the only one that can't have two roles.
No.
Too many examples.
She's wrong.
Current and past. So
She's
let's
wrong.
go to Craig. G'day, Craig.
G'day, boys. Look, you sort of took a bit of my, went out of my sails with some of those remarks. But look, I'm of the same opinion. I heard what Warren said. He was just exhausted by the call, and he just said, "Yeah, good mate." It was a dry response, but there was no malice in it, and I think it's Caro. The problem here, if you look at all those names you just listed, and you could put Adam Simpson, you could put Danaher, you could put Goodwin, you could put. There's a long line of people, and if you did a Venn diagram, the middle one would be Caroline Wilson. She's the problem. It's not everybody else's problem. The problem here is Caroline Wilson. I think she's found herself largely irrelevant in an industry that's moved on. There's now about 30 women in the sector who are more articulate, more positive, and actually play the game. who were more insightful. And so she's sort of cornered into a muckraking role where anyone who's got a grievance sends a text through to her and she prints it. I mean, people are turning up on her, and there's no one to blame. It's not everyone else's fault.
Thanks, Craig. Strong opinions. Let's go to Manapara. Hello, Frank.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. Another good show as always. Now, you boys remember your first game, yeah, in the week of?
Yes.
Now, I caught up on Sunday regarding the subs for Lorenz, but this has really got me fired up. I don't know what Ken is doing, but talk about ruining the kid's confidence. Right, he ruined the first week in the build-up and all that sort of stuff, in my opinion, and then he goes and drops him. Now, you've got to give at least the kid, and all the kids, at least 3 to 5 games to show a bit. I don't know what he's doing, but it's just pretty much, ruined his experience and the first week and his debut of his career, in my opinion.
Yeah, Frank, I'm not a fan. I spoke about it prior to us getting the team dropped, and I said that I'm a big one of, not playing him as a sub because you're limited game time, but I'm also not a fan of introducing a debutant and having him straight back out. Now, in saying that, the exact same thing happened to me. I started on the bench and got dropped the following week. But I always believe, and a lot of coaches have done it since, where they've just said, you know what, you got a month. Relax on it, play your good footy that we know you can play and go for it. The young fella, I think it'll knock him around, no doubt. And it's a bit of a kick in the pants for a bit of a quarter of footy.
You had an excuse. The great Bucky Cunningham is coming back.
That's a very good.
So that's
excuse.
a fair excuse. This one isn't one. Francis Evans has come in for Will Lorenz.
Yeah.
Francis Evans, Will Lorenz, Francis Evans, you know what I mean?
I'd still look at the kid for the next 3 weeks.
Well, if that was Willie Rioli, I get it.
And you said that. And he's coming back through the SANFL, by the way.
He is.
Which I am shocked about. How many weeks has he missed? 3?
4.
He's missed
3
a
with a
bit.
calf,
It's a month,
1 with
is it?
illness.
They want to see if he's right.
So it's a month.
But yeah,
Still,
I don't get that one. Hello, Steve at Golf View Heights.
G'day, Steve and Timmy. Look, I've got to agree with all these calls about Caroline Wilson. I've had a gutful. FIVEAA had to let Blake go. I'd rather listen to Blake any day than listen to her. Her total disrespect to the SANFL the other week on the call it was so wrong. She's got no idea about the history of the SANFL and she couldn't care. And the way she kept going, who cares? We're all here just reporting the Crow is garbage. Absolute garbage.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Yeah, she got my back up with the SANFL debate. Don't anyone run the SANFL. You were away.
I was away, right.
Yeah, don't run the SANFL down in front of me.
What was the topic matter?
Top-ups and this and that. And she's clearly getting intel from Port Adelaide. There's no question. She never rang the SANFL. Hasn't got intel from there. Anyway, she does her job. She's a big part of our show, has been for a number of years. She's heritage for us at AA. She polarises. We have had that many texts absolutely going hard. And you can have your opinion.
Yeah.
Caro's got a couple of weeks off. Can we announce who we've got in?
Sorry?
Well, Caro's out. Can we announce who we've got in?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Robbo.
Absolutely.
AFL 360's Mark Robinson. And he polarises.
Can do.
Can do.
Let's do it again.
Good call.
Love it.
Good
well,
call.
we have Scotty Burns from the Crows not far away. And for those who did miss the chat with Caroline Wilson earlier, because it was a strong one from her, she speaks next.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
This is mangy old bunch of old Wollonga hippies taking time out from making their own sauerkraut to get in the second-hand Volvo and come into town every Monday for a bit of social